Hi all, we're beginning to the live mock session. I hope you can hear me clearly. I hope you can also see me clearly. I hope you're live and there. So we're going to start this. I'm just going to give a broad outline on how we plan to do this. I'm going to speak for about a minute and a half. Get ready, get mentally ready. I'm going to run and open the mock screen. I'm going to share the mock interface. So you'll be able to see my screen. And whenever I need to solve something or scribble something, I'm going to open what is called as Windows Journal, which is like broadly a notepad, but for the web. And obviously, that will also get shared. Sorry. So you'll be able to see the mock UI and the paper UI alternately. I'm going to try to speak through most of the time so that I'm conversing and clearly saying what I'm trying to do. Sometimes I'll just slip into solving mode where I'm going to crack this. And therefore, I'm not articulating that much. Hang in there. You'll be able to see the screen where the question is appearing. So you should be able to read the screen and try the questions on your own, any which way. And so keep that in mind. Second thing, because I'm going to share the journal, the pen movements will be jerkier than if you're just pen and paper. So keep that in mind. So hang in there. It's a presentation. We know exactly what we are speaking. It's a different experience. It's a new thing. So be more kinder. And what else do I want to say? Because you're going to alternate between the test interface and the Windows Journal interface. It's a plain paper. I will be able to speak more and speak clearly and explain what I'm saying in DI and quant, but less so in verbal, because it will be sometimes that goes off in reading a passage. So there's no way I can connect when I'm reading a passage. So I'm going to assume that you guys can read the passage or follow stuff on the live chat in that time window. Therefore, when you're doing verbal, there'll be less communicating beyond test taking. When you do quant and DI, I think I'll be more comfortable because it's only a solving part. I can articulate what I'm solving and not. That doesn't bother me. I'm just explaining what I'm doing. So that's different. But for the verbal interface, that's going to be for the verbal part. It's going to be far tougher. So keep that in mind. So in verbal, there'll be less speaking from my end because I'm going to spend time reading and figuring out what is being said. And so. And if anything goes wrong, if you're not able to hear clearly or something goes wrong, lights go off. Hang in there. My colleagues are nearby. They're sitting in the next room, so they'll swing by and fix that. I won't know because I'll be taking a mock and doing a screen share session. So hang in there. We're not going to let it go off, so we'll come back and do that. Okay. For the record, we're taking mock 1 from the 2IIM online product. This is freely available. So anyone who's not tried this mock, you should try it. So you should click and then see what is there in the mock, try it, attempt it wholeheartedly once, and then see where you stand with that. It's a wonderful mock, good question. I'm told, not seeing the question. I'm told it's a good mock with good question. I'm playing Arvind and Praveen have comforted me and said that there's not going to be something really funny in there. Right? Somebody said, please share your mind while attempting. I will try to do that as much as possible. I'm less sure about how I can share it during verbal, but I'm reasonably confident in this DI. I'll be able to show the screen, do the math on the journal, and talk. So I'm going to be able to articulate what I'm thinking of more clearly when it goes to verbal. When it goes to quant and DI, less so in verbal. Right? Anything else? So some of you are still asking, how does this work? We're going to start in about 3-4 minutes. I'm going to share the mock screen and then take an entire mock. Instead of pen and paper, I'm going to be scribbling on a digital writing pad on Windows Journal. So you'll be able to see the mock screen and the journal screen alternately, like seeing your screen and seeing your notebook and paper alternately. And then I'll take you through the thought process that I'm having. Which question am I skipping? Why am I skipping that question? Why I don't like that? Why I'm worried about this? All of that. So you'll have a more or less real-time view of how a mock exam, how the CAT should be taken, or how it is taken by me. There's no should be taken. There's no one method. I'm very sure that I'm going to have a lot of flaws in the way I'm approaching this mock, as I do when I approach any other mock. But it helps to try to see it from someone else's point of view, someone else's thought process. So we're going to see if we can outline that, help you guys with that. See if you can see this through my eyes as much as possible, so that you know how someone else does it. Don't be too hung up over the scores on this mock or otherwise, because you might not be taking it live, because you'll be seeing, listening, and trying to take. So that's going to be a testing experience. we will try to have one more session where we discuss about how to take mocks and how to plan at the end of this, after we've done this, so that you have a reference point on how somebody else does it, and then come back to this. I've given a lot of yarn about how to take mock and how to handle your mind and how not to get worried about one thing going wrong. But it's a challenge for me. Now I got to practice what I preach. Right? So let's see whether I can hold my head up and say, at least I gave it a good go. Right? So I'm going to start it off. I've set up the mock interface. I'm going to do a screen share, start this mock test, and just tell you how, explain to you how what the Windows journal screen is, and then we're good to go. Right? So again, I'm going to do a screen share, and then we're off in another minute or two to start the test. I'm going to do a screen share now. Good to go. That I hope you guys can see my screen. This is the Windows journal page. This is where I hope and plan to scribble stuff, which when I'm thinking about solving something in quant, DI, or LM, or verbal for that matter. And this screen here is a mock screen. And I've started this. I've registered here. I've gone into mock cat 1 to 6. And I've clicked on take the free mock, the first mock. So if I click start now, we are good to go. We said we'll start between 8:05 and 8:10. We're more or less on our timeline. So I'm going to click start now. After this, get into the test interface. For about 3 hours, we cannot have a chat or a discussion about how to do this, what to do, etc., etc., etc. We're going to just take the test and then see how we can build from there. Right? So I'm going to press start. This is a Windows journal screen, which I'll be using in order to show what I'm working on. So I'll be alternating between this and the test interface. Right? All good to go. Here we go. Start. Okay. So you can see this. The sentences given in the question, when properly sequenced, form a coherent paragraph. Each sentence is labeled with a number. Type in the most logical number from that type. These are typical sentence rearrangement questions. I'm going to read this. As I said, I don't have the habit of reading out loud. You can see the screen that is here. So take the time to read the screen. Just to give an outline, I think the good starting point is 2. There is a very clear link between statement 3 and 4, 3 and 1. 3 says initially our focus was on developing this. 3 and 1. First statement says more recently we have been focused on developing general approaches to understanding the source and magnitude of error in DNA fragment-based data and to develop computational comparison algorithms which account for these errors so as to improve the reliability. 1, I think, continues best with 4, in collaboration with investigators from Mexico's National Institutes of Public Health and Nutrition, to apply these techniques in a community in the state of Veracruz, Mexico. So I think it could be 2, 3, 1, and then 4 and 5 in some order. Right, so this approach has been utilized in a broadly collaborative structure in San Francisco since 1990, involving the San Francisco Department of Public Health Division of Tuberculosis, the CHESS Service of San Francisco General. So I think the order could be, let me just say, 2, A second, I'm not yet used to typing with this. It's going to be 2, 3, 1. I'm not sure whether it's 4, 5 or 5, 4. I'm going to go with 4, 5 because this approach has been broadly utilized. So we're talking about an approach here. Develop computational comparison algorithms which account for these errors so as to improve the reliability of automated matching. So I think 2, 3, 1, 5, 4 is better. I hate sentence 4. It seems wrong. It seems like an incomplete sentence. So I think 5, 4 is one long sentence. It's been chopped off rather unreasonably for us. So 2, 3, 1, 5, 4 makes more sense, I think. 3, 1, I'm confident. 2 goes best as a starting sentence. So I'm looking around at 2, 3, 1, 5, 4. I'm already beginning to hate this. Enter the answer choice questions. So I'm going to save and next. 4 different ways of finding management conforms most closely to standard English usage. A recent study indicates that even after a decade, young women still experience some of the effects of eve teasing that occurred as a teenager. A recent study indicates that even after a decade, young women still experience some of the effects of eve teasing that has occurred. That's wrong. A recent study indicates that nearly after, it should be even after a decade or after nearly a decade. So C is also wrong. A recent study indicates that even after a decade, young women still experience some of the effects of eve teasing that occurred when they were teenagers. Occurring as a teenager is wrong because it's not consistent. Nearly after is wrong. That has occurred is wrong. So choice D, here you go. That I'm more confident. I should have skipped the first one in hindsight and too many long sentences. This is a short sentence one, so I'm going to give it a go. There were 80,000 tons worth of iron bars which had to be carted off as fast as possible. It should be as quick as possible. I don't like as fast as possible to meet new demands sparked by the Spanish-American War. Question number 2 seems to be an interesting starting point, but there's a he there. So technically, you can start with the pronoun and build it out later, but I don't think our exam is going to do that. So I want Taylor to be mentioned before that. And so when the pig iron question hit him, that seems to be my starting point, 4. And then you go to Taylor narrowed his eyes. Before that, we need to have seen what he's narrowing his eyes on. Staring out over an industrial yard that covered several square miles, he watched as laborers loaded 92-pound bars onto rail cars. So we want to discuss that. So we were seeing 92-pound bars into rail car. There were 80,000 tons worth of iron bars which had to be carted off as fast as possible. Starting with Taylor, and after hastily removing the book, he estimated that men are currently loading iron at a rate of 12.5 tons per man per day. When the pig iron question hit him, and then we're going to what is the pig iron question? So, staring out an industrial yard that covered, there were 80,000 tons worth of iron bars which had to be carted off as fast as possible to meet the new demand sparked by. So, I'm going to go with 2 because there's a pig iron question hit him. Where did it hit him? Because he was staring out over an industrial yard. He watched, so he has watched something. That's what hit him. He's sure that there was waste there. That's what he's doing. Okay, 4 different ways of presenting an idea I've given. Choose the one that comes on most closely. So straight away, I'm seeing that I'm not that good at the sentence rearrangement stuff. I'm going to go for sentence correction more, and then jump to RC when I have to switch. Unlike the United States, where farmers can usually depend on rain or snow all year long, the rains in most parts of Indian Peninsula are concentrated in the months of June to September. In the United States, farmers can usually depend on rain or snow all year long, but in most parts of Indian Peninsula, rains are concentrated in the months of June to September. Unlike is better than in, because there's an unlike followed where it sets a context very well. And unlike those in the United States where farmers unlike those in the United States where farmers can usually depend on rain or snow all year long, that doesn't sound good. Unlike those, who are those? That's vague. In contrast to the United States, whose farmers depend on rain or snow all year long, rains in most part of Indian Peninsula are concentrated in the months of June to September. In contrast to the United States, we should be talking about Indian Peninsula. So we cannot talk about most parts in contrast to the United States, and that doesn't look fine. So I don't like C and D. In the United States, farmers can usually depend on rain or snow all year long. But in most parts of Indian Peninsula, the rains are concentrated in the months of June to September. Unlike the United States, where farmers can usually depend on rain or snow all year long, the rains in most parts of Indian Peninsula are concentrated in the months of June to September. There, farmers can depend, and here the rains are supporting. I don't like that either. B, notwithstanding the in the United States, I like the unlike beginning, but B is more consistent. Here, unlike the United States, should be continued with. India does not see rains beyond June to September. You cannot compare with the rains in most parts of Indian Peninsula. So therefore, there's a parallelism error. So I prefer B to anything else. Okay, save and next. Go to the next one. In sentence corrections, I'm going to power on and see if I can do one more. And then I don't like the fact that I'm pushing RC this much, but I'll do one more because I seem to be confident of this. Some buildings that were destroyed and heavily damaged in the recent fire were constructed in violation of the Chennai Corporation Building Code. They're destroyed and heavily damaged. They're either destroyed or heavily damaged. So straight away, that's out. Some building that the recent fire destroyed or heavily damaged have been destroyed. Some buildings that were destroyed or heavily damaged in the recent fire had been constructed in violation of the Chennai Corporation's Building Code. See this. Some of the buildings that were destroyed and heavily damaged in the recent fire were constructed in violation of the Chennai Corporation's Building Code. Some of the buildings that were destroyed. Some of the buildings is verbose. Some buildings that were destroyed or heavily damaged in the recent fire had been constructed in violation of the Chennai Corporation's Building Code. That seems good. C is better than D. D is slightly verbose. D also looks grammatically correct. I'm not able to pick exactly what is offending me about D, but C seems more apt. I'm going to go with that. Save and next. This is a word, so I'm going to go for it. The book is a raw, chilling. What do we need to pick? Pick the word from the alternative that is most appropriate instead of acute. The book is a raw, chilling, and psychologically acute novel of human passions reduced to their deadliest essence. Psychologically acute, psychologically sharp. Sharp is okay, but I wouldn't use the word sharp. Sharp can go there, but it's not the best word. Virulent, not virulent, not a virulent novel. And so the book is a raw, chilling, and psychologically acute. Not perceptive, it's chilling. Perceptive is something you can understand and figure out better and more enlightening. It's not chilling. Psychologically severe. Finally, I'm run out of choices. I don't like all four. Acute is a good word. It shouldn't be replaced. Psychologically sharp novel. I don't like that. Psychologically virulent is out. Perceptive is out. I'll go with severe, but with a heavy heart. I'm not that happy with severe, but severe it is. Raw, chilling, and psychologically severe novel of human passions. Again, one more of these. I like question number 7, but since I've done so many without doing an RC, I'm going to jump to RC. But that one question I'm going to jump back to is question number 7. And I'm going to stay away from sentence rearrangement. I am not doing well in those. And so I'm going to read this the next 2-3 minutes. You need to give me time. Super. I've read most of the passage, and I don't like answering questions without having read this. And so I always read my passages. I try to read them with as open a mind as possible, then go to the question. This passage is broadly a pain to meritocracy, how hereditary effects have reduced, how the middle class on the back of solid education in technology and engineering is going through. It's a wonderful story, one I'm less inclined to completely agree with on a personal level. But that apart, it's an interesting line where he's saying, look, it's not hereditary, it's merit, and there's a bias towards science and engineering, and all percentages have gone up. I've not made an effort to retain the percentages, but I know where they are. The last few paragraphs say that a lot of colleges have not been ending, so broadening of the base of colleges. Let's look at this. It is presently true that in regard to top business executives, 11% come from poor family backgrounds. I saw data with poor family backgrounds. Identifies it there. That's rich people here. The Horatia Alger tradition still holds good. Poor boy making good enjoyed its greatest popularity in the days when top business posts remained largely real triumph of open society, not a triumph, has been achieved in the past 10 years. The Horatio Alger tradition holds, but I don't think that is the crux of the passage, but that is true. They do not read as much as they used to. We don't have any data of that. They are more educated on reading. Engineering and sciences background are becoming more prevalent. That's a top business executive, engineering and sciences. It is a very tempting choice. Why I'm a little worried I'm not jumping at this? It's mainly because engineering I remember, but I don't know whether I saw sciences. I'm going to look at that. 38% of them had such education, degrees in engineering or natural. I don't know what natural means. It could be in natural sciences, but sciences is, I don't know whether it is stated very clearly, explicitly. Engineering graduates, again here, middle class and poor families are provided with college or education. So you're seeing science and engineering. So science and engineering is featuring here, definitely. But the percentage of executive degrees in science and engineering has increased nearly 5 times over, are becoming more prevalent. I'm happy I've seen sciences, so I'm taking that. And so, which of the following would be the most appropriate as a title for this passage? Harvard loses its sheen. Absolutely not. We're talking nothing about Harvard. The wealthy begin to miss out. This is not a story of the wealthy beginning to miss out, as more a story of the middle class and poor classes beginning to participate. Education scores over inheritance. I don't really like the fact that it's saying scores over, but that is most relevant of the three. The sciences fight back. They were never really suffering, not fighting back. It's not a story of science now making a comeback. Education over inheritance seems the most appropriate. Although I would have said education makes more of an impact, not scoring over inheritance. Such as life. We'll live with that. See this. Article implies that Americans are steadily surpassing in Russia and technical training. It so does not do that. And so the part that Russia has mentioned, which is where here, some feel to excess in the Soviet Union. So this gone to excess in the Soviet Union. We're not talking about this. A wealthy family offers a disadvantageous environment for a would-be top. Of course not. The percentage of big business executives coming from poor families has steadily increased. That is hinted at very aggressively. Big business executives coming from wealthy families has steadily decreased. D is more appropriate than C because we are always plugged middle class and poor families together. And the controlling force is that of the middle class with a college or university education, with middle class leading the charge. So I like D over C. Definitely share from wealthy has decreased, that we know. Middle class seems to be reading the chart. The poor are also having a role to play, but not explicitly the poor. I mean, margins, but I like D more than C because of that. Oops, we're up to 10. That's one fact. Only 3 questions were there, I think. I'm going to read again. Next passage. We're on. So I'm going to not speak for 2 minutes. Hang it there. Seem to have had a lot of lapse in concentration, something we should look to avoid. Just put again. Super. This is about online reverse auction. So you keep bidding lower and lower till you say at this price I can deliver this service. Themes here, large companies are using it. It is here to stay. Small companies are struggling to really partake in this. The industry is not creating a mechanism for them to compete. They need a certain size, scale, and clear specifications to have an online reverse auction model. And finally, the mandatory. It is not going to go away. It will only go downward and expand, kind of finish. And so, if we have to mention 1 or 2 things that don't work, but they're the last but one problem. They have some trouble sometimes. What would be an ideal subtitle for the passage if its title were competitive pricing? Reverse online auctions, no longer just for the global 100. That seems appropriate because the big theme here is not just a reverse online auction, but the fact that it's going to be used by smaller companies as well. Right? So let's see this. We've spoken a lot about reverse online auction, but then we go on from the middle of the passage is about how not just the top company, but the smaller companies can also do that. Reverse online auction, just another passing fad? Definitely not. It is here to stay. It is going to go downward. Reverse online auctions, caveat emptor. No caveat here is one mild caveat in the last but one paragraph. Heads you win, tails you win, tosh. Reverse online auctions no longer just for the global 100. That is the appropriate one. The passage states that smaller firms are unlikely to benefit from reverse auctions immediately on account of smaller buyers may find it difficult to attract suppliers to bid for their request, as the scales of operations may not be attractive, which is key to an effective function of reverse auction. May not be interested in doling out. The buyers may not be interested in doling out the required 1 to 3% service charge to auction companies, the cost of participating in the online auction. the cost of participating in the online reverse auction are higher for smaller companies, and hence they desist from engaging in this practice. When the A seems most appropriate, the choices are a little mangled, but that's not such a big deal. We can figure out what is being said. The required 1 to 3% charge. Let's look at that. Auctions providers have shown limited interest in changing fees or practices to accommodate smaller firms. They'll have some difficulty generating the volume companies are interested in. So A is definitely right. The scale is not enough. For smaller companies, the cost of participating in the online reverse auction are higher. It's the same percentage. Buyers may not be interested in doling out the required 1 to 3%. That's also not clear. They're not telling us that buyers are not, only the sellers have to bear the transaction fee. So B is not true, C is not true, A it is. Going to the next one. Which of the following are stated as potential impediments to implementing online reverse auction on a large scale? The cost of teaching new suppliers and training them to follow the requirements of the buyer might outweigh the savings made. As clearly stated, there will be some training cost. Suppliers might not supply product of the right quality that they have promised. That is true, but that is not stated. That is not stated here. We shouldn't make that assumption. There is no proper regulatory mechanism to govern the market making process. That is essential. May be true, but we have not been told that. I don't like C. I don't like B. A is definitely true. So A only, B and C both are out. Don't make extrapolation. Don't make assumption that need not be true. What does the author mean when he says standard traditional rising price or English auction on its head? Reverse auction is superior to English auction? No. Is a standoff to the English auction? No. Standby in cases? No. It's the exact opposite way of actioning as standoff. In regular auction, you increase the prices to buy something. Here you decrease the price to offer something. Oops, another theory. Public expenditure theory. A lot of economics thing. I'm not so happy, so I don't want to read so much economics. Public choice movement. There seem to be 4 questions like that. I don't like this Fij as well, so we'll come back to that later on. Again, this is not good. I like 22 and 7, so 22 by 7 pi is good, but I want to find the next RC. Dear lucky, this seems reasonable as a little letter. I like that. So I'm jumping to question 25. I skipped a passage because it had some public choice and all that. I don't like that. I'm a big fan of economics, but I don't like these passages. I don't like Fij, so I'm skipping that. I'm back here. This is a wonderful gossip column. Agani column. I would love this, and anybody would love this. A good break in between all these passages. So let's read this, have a go, and then we'll see where we stand after that. Oh, wonderful. This is right out of now. I don't know why I don't want to say what magazine. Whatever I say will sound very trashy. I don't want you guys knowing what magazine we will read. So, straight out of the brand magazine. Wonderful, right? There's a big difference between being 17 and being 30. I love that sentence, right? Anyway, let's go to this. Because I think from the economics public random thing become the direct opposite thing. We can't take this lightly because the questions can be very tricky. And so, to a hypothetical question, I think my boyfriend is not very serious about me. He flirted with too many other girls. What is the most likely response from Lucky? Oh my God, we need to track Lucky's responses. We can't be offensive. It's always talk, always engage, always go and converse. So that's the first thing. Nothing offensive, nothing too sharp. Be patient with boys. Your boyfriend will eventually come back to you. I'm not sure. Talk to him is the stand I'm looking at. Talk to him and let him know your feelings. Wait for some time. Still, if no change is forthcoming, you should perhaps think about having him as your boyfriend, or think twice about having him as your boyfriend. There is little or no point in running around with a boyfriend who is not serious about you. No, no, no. No, no, no. Always start small, talk to your friend. It is best to confront him, of course, not to talk to him. Lucky doesn't like confronting. Lucky wants to engage. Lucky wants to help you. Lucky wants to bail you out. Lucky wants to see if we can build confidence building measures and take the small step. And based on our responses, how would you describe Lucky? Incredibly lucky to have this as a job. A person who strongly believes in women's liberation and hates male chauvinism may or may not be. There is absolutely no evidence. Someone who feels parents should give their children much more freedom, God knows why. Someone who is practical and at the same time clear about objectives. Of course, that's what Lucky is. That's what all Agonian columns are. I hate this question. I hate this passage. That is definitely not what I know about Lucky. Lucky could be an irreverent thing. This is a magazine article, but this is the choice that I like. So let me see the fourth one as well. Dating is a good thing even for very young girls. What is very young? Where is he or she saying good thing? See this. The narrator of the passage is most likely to be. Oh, we found only 2 questions in that wonderful passage. It's just cruel. It's a long passage. I want to know how many questions are there. Only 3, but I think that there are more RCs for us to chase after this. So I have to do either this passage or the economics passage. When I'm going to go with this, we're halfway down this. I'm going to go have a go at this. Then we'll go to the stinking old FIJs and the rest of the world. Door of your human consciousness. Do I really want to read this? Either this or economics. I have time to do one more RC. I don't like that first sentence at all. Door of the human consciousness. I mean, there is no such door for me. So we would like to explore the doorway with you. We would also like to know what with you. This is ET. Well, this is fine. We can do this. This is not some psychological one. ET is extraterrestrial, possibly. So let's do this. This should be fun. This is random fantasy sci-fi stuff. We should like this.
This is wonderful passage, lots of fun. So conscious, subconscious, unconscious, and ET contacting us. In parts it looks like science fiction, in part it looks like some spiritual healing mumbo jumbo. Right? It's good stuff. But I like the passage. It is well written. They create an alternate reality and been very consistent. Sometimes you see these superhero movies and then they start doing funny stuff back in the middle because the directors run out of ideas. This person has outlined everything into that schema, very consistent. And the narrator of the passage is most likely to be extraterrestrial being. I'm looking for this question. Why? Because there's a lot of we that comes be spoken of here. Now that you see the layers of the consciousness, we're going to talk to you about where ET contacts it. Give me a second. There is one us, there's a first person, plural, singular, somewhere there. There you are one frequency and we are another. Because remember, you are one frequency and we are another. We is extraterrestrial. So that couple of places where the first person singular plural slips in. So this is being written by an extraterrestrial for human consumption. That's wonderful. It's not spiritualist, so it looks like some spiritual stuff. It's not a professor, it's not a psychologist, it's an ET. Data blocks. Perceptions of reality is wrong. Fundamental blocks that form our memory is wrong. Something that you put together to prevent something from coming through. And so this is the second or third paragraph. Conscious mind becomes filled with these data blocks. So you go through all of what is programmed into data blocks. Where all of your perceptions of reality, your belief systems. Perceptions of reality sounds okay because it's explicitly stated. The belief system part is what I'm looking for. It's not our fears, not aggregation of external like perception of reality, safety system. So is your subconscious mind not responsible for not involved in telepathic communication? Something about the telepathy that is being given to you never makes it to the conscious mind. Subconscious mind is involved in this processing of external stimuli rather than by the conscious mind. Consciousness triage, that is what the subconscious does. Mind not responsible for processing of external stimuli. Also, I think it's non-verbal. It is involved in telepathic communication. It's not responsible for telepathic communication, but if it does happen, it is by the subconscious mind. Processing of external stimuli, that's where they do the triage. They get the input, they do the consciousness triage. I think they do all three, none of the other. But I'm not sure of this.
2 questions. It seems unfair. Let's do the sentence correction. I've been happy doing that, so let me continue with this. Let's take stock. 20 minutes left. We've skipped one entire passage because we didn't like that. A bunch of FIJ questions. Not doing well in sentence rearrangement. The call we need to take is to whether jump out and shoot that final passage down, or to do all the one-on-one questions and see where we go. Let's do a couple of one-on-one and then take that decision later on. And one question at a time. During the summer of 1981, when it looked like parts of New York and New Jersey were going to run short of water, many businesses and homes were affected by the stringent restrictions on the use of water. This seems fine. I think the current sentence is fine. When it looked like parts of New York, as if parts of New York is better. And so it's not like, I had missed an error, and it looked like is usually wrong. So if like comes, then you can stay away from that. When it looked as if parts of New York and New Jersey would have run short of water. Would have run short of water is fine. We are going to run short of water. Not bad. During the summer of 1981, when it looked as if parts of New York and New Jersey would have run short of water. That is fine. So A looks nice. When it appeared that parts of New York and New Jersey would run out of water, that's also fine. Appeared and looked, I don't find something. When it appeared that parts of as if is better than parts, I like A more than B. It was the appearance that observed. When seemed like the parts of town. Look, this is between these two, but that parts of New York, as if parts of New York is better. It looked as if parts of New York and New Jersey. So A is better. C and D are observed. B is close, but A is better. Sentence rearrangement. I don't want to have a go at that. I don't like that. I'm not being good at that. Let's do this one. The books of W.E.B. Du Bois before World War I constituted as a fundamental challenge to the accepted ideas of race relations. That 2 generations later will be true of the writings of the radical writers of the 1960s. The books of W.E.B. Du Bois before World War I constituted as fundamental and challenge to the accepted ideas of race relations. It's not that comma. There comes that means the clause following is essential to the statement, so there should be no comma, which can be followed with a comma. So that comma is definitely wrong. So the books of W.E.B. Du Bois before World War I constitute as fundamental a challenge to the accepted ideas of race relations. Just in the way 2 generations later did the writings of radical writers of the 1960s. Books of W.E.B. Du Bois before World War I considered as fundamental a challenge to the accepted. Considered as fundamental a challenge to the accepted ideas of race relations as 2 generations later. So it is, I completely read the question statement wrong. The books of W.E.B. Du Bois before World War I considered as fundamental a challenge to the accepted ideas of race relations as should be the continuation as right. So it's between B and C. As 2 generations later would the writings of not would be true, would the writings wonderful questions of them as fundamental a challenge to. That is interesting. Good construct. Let's do this one. For the reason that gasoline was relatively cheap and 25 cents per gallon. That's absurd. Because the average American came to view unfettered, inexpensive driving as a right rather than a lucky privilege. Because gasoline was a relatively cheap and 25 cents per now. Due to the fact that gasoline was a relatively inexpensive 25 cents per gallon. It seems verbose, but that's right. Inexpensive 25 cents per gallon. That is right. In that gasoline was a relatively inexpensive object. Because gasoline was relatively cheap at 25 cents per gallon in the 1950s, the average American came to view unfettered. Because gasoline was due to the fact that gasoline was a relatively inexpensive 25 cents per gallon in the 1960s, is right. because gasoline was relatively cheap at 25 cents per gallon in the 1960s. Was relatively, it seems more verbose, but I like that. I don't want to start with because. It's not a deal breaker, but I don't want to start with because. B is appropriate. Was a relatively inexpensive 25 cents a gallon. Giving a context to the 25 cents a gallon, they're referring to the 25 cents a gallon. I like B better than D. A and C are upside wrong. Complete that paragraph. I don't like those, so I've skipped that. The 34th question, maybe I'll come back to that later on. We skipped one passage. I'm going to have a very quick look at that. We still have 15 minutes. Maybe we can shoot for this. That's 15, 16, 17, 18. The 4 questions we should definitely. 4 questions we should definitely shoot for it. And then we'll scramble into the remaining. Fine. In 15 years immediately following World War II, unquestionably the most significant development. I'm going to stop reading loud and mess up my mind. I've forgotten who this Buchanan is. It's a tough passage. I keep losing track of what I've already read. So it's going to be properly tough because it talks about a lot of vague things. And so we started this and we have time, so let's go for it. A wonderful passage. I don't understand most of it, and I've spent a lot of time. I don't understand exactly what normative means. I understand that this is Wixell guy, and then there is Buchanan, and then there is Samuelson. Samuelson spoken of public policy and public theory mostly from a market failure point of view, whereas Buchanan is built on it and from a productive state point of view. Intervention, plug a failure. Intervention is to create a mechanism where it can be productive. That's just broadly what I gather from it. But the large part I don't understand. So I know I have spent some time reading it, but I'm not going to jump in and answer all 4 questions. I'm going to give it a go and give up if I need to give up. From the passage, it can be inferred that public expenditure theory arose as a result of World War II, definitely not. Arose to prevent market failures. Perhaps yes, not so sure. Concentrated on how to enhance tax revenues. That's not true, because it's moving away from that. Everything was originally only this, but then it changed. It's related to public activities and public goods. That seems reasonable. It's not a response to prevent, it's not A or C. It's not a response to prevent market failures. It's to handle market failure, the public expenditure theory. But it is not a response prevent market failures. It's related to public activities. Bland but true. A and C are definitely wrong. B, the critical element of the justification, the market failure that public goods give rise to in an extreme form. They're not. It's not what it is. So it's not B. It is D. Which of the following would Samuelson most likely agree with? He would agree probably that he's a genius. I don't understand most of what he says, but still read. Market should be completely left to the private sector. He says he sees there is a justification for public good. Give rise to in the extreme form. Distillation of various possible barriers. I don't know. Maybe it is what it is. Public goods are unlikely to give rise to market failures. Set out what purport to be a coherent and synthetic justification for governmental intervention in economic processes. He's setting out justification for government intervention. So it should be completely left to the private sector. I don't agree with that. So set out what purported to be a coherent and synthetic justification for governmental intervention. So public goods are unlikely to give rise to market failures. The critical element of this justification is the market failure that public goods give rise to in extreme form. They will give rise to. Pareto optimum and market equilibrium could be one and the same. Frequent market failures form a strong case for government intervention. So a huge burgeoning in the normative analysis of markets, most of it oriented towards showing some market failure, so understood, and often associated with a putative case for, I think this is what it is, not really sure, but I'm still going for it. We can infer which of the following is not a public good. A high traffic bridge in the city, a street light, a personal art collection, bus shelter. It's not from the passage, bugger all from the passage. The choices are easy. Central ambition of the public choice movement. The public choice movement, where the hell is that mentioned? Normative thrust of public goods analysis was an important element. One central ambition of public choice scholarship was to insist that political success. The government should similar political test before government interferes to correct a market failure. Political success is very important. Also, similar political test before they interfere. There should be an economic test and a political test. Wonderful. You should never interfere with what they say. Super. We've done all that. Let's do this. I fucking project, but I just don't like this at all. I'm going to bang 7 in and we'll come back to this. Embroil. The situation worsened when the police commissioner became embroiled. Embroiled is to get caught up and get tangled. In the heated discussion, instead of arbitrating and settings, settling the dispute, Mr. L. Not encrypted, not extricated, not exacerbated. Many policemen do exacerbate, but the situation worsened, became entangled, if not exacerbated, it was entangled. We like 22 as well, so we want to go to 22. That's not fit, I don't want to do that. I don't like FIJJ, but we'll still try. Because we don't have that much time, let's go for this. Laboratory experiments led by John Hopkins scientists. So we want to see which ones are facts, which ones are inferences, which ones are judgments. And led by John Hopkins scientists have revealed that so-called jumping genes create dynamic rearrangement in the human genome when they move from chromosome to chromosome. The finding holds true in living organisms. It may help explain the diversity. It may help, it's an opinion. So that is judgment. Or it may help. If this holds good, it may help. So there's an inference there under a context. There are more than 500,000 copies in the human genome that retransportation the scientists studied accumulated over the millions of years of human evolution. Fact. So B is an inference, C is a fact. Have anything going there? Just both of these are like that. So it's up down to the first one. Forget D. Laboratory experiments led by John Hopkins scientists have revealed that so-called jumping genes create a dynamic rearrangement in the human genome when they move from chromosome to chromosome. They have revealed, established laboratory experiment. It's fact, not an inference. FIFJ. So here we go. The stock market hasn't been this volatile since 2002. How do you measure volatility? If it is clearly known, accepted, it's a fact, otherwise it's an opinion. But this time, so-called leverage in financial markets is far greater. So-called leverage, so-called, somebody is terming it. Again, some opinion creeping in, therefore I would be biased towards even judgment for that. Indexes of small company stocks and large dividend-paying stocks have advanced by more than 2%. Verifiable fact. But it's probably not time opinion to start bargain hunting opinion. So the fact and judgment I'm clear of. Last two. So FJ, so JJFJ hasn't been this volatile against the judgment. We don't know the basis for that. Too long, oops, we're running out of time, so I'm going to see which one is short and where I can still have a chance at it. We need to say how many want to happen. The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this constitution or on the application of legislation of 2/3 several states shall call a convention for proposing amendments, which in either case shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of this constitution and ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states or by conventions in 3/4 thereof, as the one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by the Congress, provided that no amendment which may be made prior to the year 1808 shall in any manner affect this first and fourth clauses in the 9th section of the first article, and that no state without its consent shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. Absolutely no idea what they're talking about. Which of these is not allowed according to the passage? An amendment made in 1950 that affects the first clause of the 9th section of the first article. No, we're saying 1808. So this is allowed. A state will have its equal suffrage. Allowed. The state legislatures can call conventions to propose amendments. The support of at least 2/3 of both the houses is necessary in order to propose any amendments. God knows, I'm not taking a chance of this. We're done with this. Too bad. It's not such a tight section. We've attempted everything but 6 or 7 questions. Not good. So now we're going to the next one. Data interpretation. I would have loved a break, but it's just like, I love this question. So simple data, simple percentages, simple numbers, only one chart. I'm going to have about this. Percentage of students who pass: 45, 35, 55, 50, 65, 55, 73, 59. And so 4 different years and percentage of people who pass. I'm going to spend some time just scanning the data. Boys is higher than girls. All of these are the percentage numbers. We don't know the absolute numbers. There could have been more girls that passed out at 1991 than 93-94. So all percentage numbers, percentage of boys who pass, percentage of girls who pass. Interesting, there's an upward trend. People are doing better. There's an improvement for girls and for boys, which is more. I think the girls' improvement rate is better. But it's simple data. I'm going to have a go at this. By what percentage the percentage of the girls who cleared the exam gone up between the years 92, 93 and 93, 94? The actual number of girls that was straight away written cannot be determined. But here we are saying percentage of the girls who cleared the exam 92, 93, 93, 94. 55 to 59. So we're looking at 4 by 55. I'm looking at to find 4 by 55 as a percentage. So you want to cancel off 5, 6, 20. We're looking at 80 by 11. 7, 77, 30, 7.2, 22, 7.27, whatever that charge is, 7.27%. Remember typing by what percentage as the actual number of girls, they could not have answered this. Percentage, therefore we can answer this. How many more students passed in the year 92-93 as compared to the number of students who passed in the year 1991? If the number of boys who passed in 1991 was 180, and the number of girls who passed in 1991 was 105. We've been given 180 and 105. With this, we can get the 1991 actual number of boys and girls who were there. 92, 93, we know only the percentages. That could be percentage of anything, so we simply cannot answer that. How many more students passed this? 1991 to 92, 93. For 1991, we have all the numbers. For 92 to 93, we do not. Easy one, cannot be determined. If the total number of boys in the class increased by 10% from 92 to 93 to 93, 94, by what percentage is the number of boys who cleared the exam in 93, 94 higher than the number in 92, 93? The number of boys has gone up by 10%. 92, 93 to 93, 94, 65 to 73. So, and actually here what we're doing is we're thinking about the growth rate from 65% of X to 73% of 1.1x. What is the growth rate here? And so you clearly know what you're doing. Here there's a 65%, here there's a 73%. This is not the growth we're talking about. We're talking about the actual number of students. The X students, X boys in 92-93, they're 1.1x in 93-94. We're talking about this. So this I'm going to say it is 73% into 1.1 by 65%. Expressing this as a percentage. This be some 1 point something, that's my answer. So 73 into 1.1 by 65. Now look at the choices. 73 by 65, this is 1.1 or 10%. Or 73 into 1.1, let's do that. So 73 plus 7.3, we go to 80.3 by 65. And 80 by 64. This is a 25% increase. So increase of 16, 80 by 64 is 1.25. So 80.3 by 65, it's slightly less than 25%. 24%, I like that choice. Time to get on this. We're on fire here. Only 3 questions, but all are good. The table below provides data about the amount of money raised by way of public issues in rupees crores during the period from January 2000 to December 2001. So 2 full years, 24 months. And the average daily trading volume in BSE in rupees crores during the same time. So I want to make some sense of this chart. Lots of complicated stuff. Public issues in rupees crores, that is the blue line. Average equities traded per day rupees crore, that's a red line. Straight up, I'm not able to see any link between these two. This is just too random thing. At least I don't know the basis for linking these two. I don't know why they should be the same chart. And both are volatile, no noticeable trend in either one of them. Thankfully, all the numbers have been presented. And all you need to do is juggle this and get through. Which of the months witnessed the highest percentage increase in the daily average share traded by value over the previous month? Simple question, simple, straightforward. Let's compare. This is the blue graph, daily average, sorry. Daily average, this is a red graph. January 2001 is 280 to 450. Oh my God, that's a lot. How much it is? 280 to 450. I don't want to write all of this down. August 2001, that is here. 420 to 510, not good enough. May 2000, this is here. 120 to 390. Oh my God, that's a huge jump. That's so far. October 2001. The 360 to 610, 120 to 390. Take the cake. That is more than tripling. That is definitely, I don't compute anything. Remember, whenever you're talking about increase, you need to see the biggest jump. Whenever you're seeing the percentage increase, you need to see the sharpest bottom. 120 is small in relation to 390. So you more than triple 120 and land up at 390. I'm looking at the troughs, not the peaks. The 610 from 340, not even doubled. 120 to 390, oh my God, that's more than triple. You don't have to compute anything, you scan the numbers and you got this. What percentage of the total shares traded in the month of March 01 was the value of the total shares traded in the month of February 1? Average equities, total shares. Let's look at this. On the average daily trading volume in rupees crores. Total shares. Here we're talking about shares. There is traded volume in rupees crores. I'm looking at this detail because there is a cannot be determined sitting there. The value of the total shares is a number of shares. Whereas here is the transaction value. The answers question seem to hint at number of shares. Whereas the data passage deals completely with the volume or the value of transaction, not the volume, the rupees crores number. And so it's like this saying you have 5 shares each trading at 20 rupees, that's 100 rupees. You have 1 share trading at 100 rupees, that's all the 100 rupees. In both cases, the value will be 100. Whereas here, you're looking at 5 on 1. The difference I'm doing cannot be determined. The next one. In the period Jan 01 to December 01, both months inclusive, how many months we witnessed a decrease in the quantum of funds raised by way of public issues over the previous month? This is a freebie. So public issues, rupees crores, both months inclusive. We simply cannot think about Jan 01 inclusive. God knows what was there before it. How many months witnessed a decrease in volume? So April, not the first 2-3 months. April, not May, not June. July, August, not September, not October, not November, not December. January, not February, March, not April, May, June, not July, August, September, not October, not November, December. I'm counting out with my fingers on my left hand. I've got 8. That's the answer. I'm reasonably confident. I'm going to the next one. Once again, data interpretation. I wouldn't want to do so much DI, too many DI continuously, but we're doing good time. I know I'm doing on a roll here. I'm going to roll this one out and then search for LR. The table below provides data with regard to manufacture of microprocessor chips in a certain factory in Korea. The table provides information for the second half of the calendar year 2001 with respect to the number of different types of processors produced in each month and the number that have been accepted by the quality control team. Numbers produced, numbers accepted. All numbers in 100,000, not a big company. 8086, 8088, 80386, 80486. These are microprocessor chip numbers apparently. How would I know? In the month of July 2001, which of the processors had a rejection rate greater than 5%? Rejection rate. July 2001, we're talking about 2001 data. We're looking at July. Rejection rate for 8086, more than 5%. Rejection rate for 8086 is 0.5 by 24. That's 1 by 48. That's not more than 5%, that's a little more than 2%. Count this. 80386 and 486. I should have seen that. 80386 and 80486. 386 rejecting 2.2 out of 40. So we're looking at 0.2 out of 40. This is 5%. 1.1 out of 20. 5% of 20 is 1. 1.1 out of 20 is more than 5%. 80386 comes we have done. Let's check out 80486 as well. 80486 is 5 by 125. This number here, 5 by 125. That is 4%. It's only 80386. Choice A. Wonderful. You're on fire here. I already like DI. the percentage points difference between the rejection rate as a percentage of numbers manufactured for 8088 between the months of August and September. The percentage point difference between the rejection rates in August and September. For 8088, August rejection rate is 0.6 by 8 into 100. Is 0.6 by 8 or 6 by 80 into 100. 3 by 40 into 100. 3 by 4 into 10. 3 into 5 by 2, 7.5%. And then September for 8088, September is 2 by 36. 2 by 36 as a percentage. This is 1 by 18 as a percentage. 1 by 18 into 100. 100 by 18 is 5. 90 by 18 is 5. 5 and 10 by 18. 5.5. What is the percentage point difference between this and that? We're looking at 36 to 34. Sorry, is that what I'm looking at? Sorry, I think I've calculated the wrong number. I've calculated for 80386. I need to look for 8088. This is 0.6 by 12 into 100. 0.6 by 12 into 100. Or 6 by 120 into 100. 6 by 120 is 1 by 20. This is 5% exactly. Percentage points difference. So this is 7.5%. That is 5%. Difference is 2.5 percentage points. Know what percentage points mean. It is very important. Percentage points, basis points, percentage growth, actual growth. You need to know all these terms. I'm not going to take time off a mock cat to describe that, but you should know that. What is the ratio of the total number of processes manufactured in the month which had the lowest production to that of the month which had the highest production? Oh my god, this is going to be tough. I need to add all kinds of numbers. Lowest to highest. So, am I doing this question? July is 24 plus 10, 34 plus 40, 74 plus 125. So, July is 199. I'm going to do this. August 26 plus 8, 34 plus 40, 74 plus 150. August is 224. September 20 plus 12, 32 plus 36, 38. Sorry, 32 plus 36 is 68. I'm getting old. Plus 144, 152 plus 60, 212. This is September. October 18 plus 16, 34 plus 44, 78 plus 120, 198. November 24 plus 24, 48, 48 plus 32 is 80, 80 plus 132. 80 plus 132 is 212. Again, wonderful. December 20 plus 6, 26 plus 24, 50 plus 170, 220. What the ratio of the lowest to the highest? Lowest is 198, highest is 224. We want 198 by 224. Call me an old-fashioned guy, but I'm making an effort to look to all this without the calculator. Obviously, have the luxury of the calculator. 198 by 224. It's 99 by 112. 99 by 112. 99 divided by 112 equal to 0.8839, and we have a winner. Okay, we're not next. Which months are the highest percentage change in defective 8086s over the previous month? Defective 8086s. I'll write down all the numbers. July defective is 0.5. 1.5. I like this. This is going to be the answer. August. September is 2. October is 1.6. 0.2. We're seeing highest percentage increase. Percentage change, not increase. Highest percentage change. Sorry, I read that wrong. So it could be this as well. Right? Think about this. From here to here, percentage change is 200%. From this month to this month is 200%. This is 33.3%. These are all false. You cannot fall by 200%, notwithstanding what Times of India tells you nothing can fall by 200% as long as it's in positive territory. Still right, it is August from 0.5 to 1.5. It's a huge pop. That is what you're looking for. The hugeness in the pop can give you the answer straight away. Calorie charts, 2 charts, you've done nothing in LR. I'm going to jump across. I want to do 1 or 2 LR questions. 4 questions here, 5 questions here. So I like the calorie chart. I want to come back to this. I want 6 questions here. Oh my God. So this is fabulous. I'm going to attack this sooner or later. But just I'm going to have a go at this. Only 2 questions, 3 questions. Yeah. Super, this is lady and all that. I'm going to do the first LR question, short enough question. Let's have a go at this. And so I've skipped 1 DI, but I like that. There's 6 questions to it. I want to hit that, but I want to hit 1 or 2 LR questions before coming back. I'm going to clean out DI. I already know that. I'm going to clean out DI, clean easy in this paper. I'm going to nail DI. Okay. But I'm going to finish a couple of LR. Otherwise, there will be too much pressure on LR and then come back and clear out DI. KL. ALMNN, coach sisters playing a game where the loser doubles the money of each of the other players. They played 4 games. Each sister lost 1 game in alphabetical order. At the end of the 4th game, each sister had rupees 96. So wonderful question. K, L, M, N. Game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4. At the end of the 4th game, this is the game that N has lost. They have 96, 96, 96, 96. So I'm going to go to the game. I'm not going to start with this X, Y, Z, K. That doesn't work. This is the game. Who lost it? N has lost it. M has lost it. L has lost it. K has lost it. Oh, it looked like a funny, interesting question, but it's a fairly simple question. Mainly because once you know N has lost it, we know that N has doubled the money of everybody else. So at the end of game 4, we have 96, 96, 96, 96. The beginning of game 4, after game 3, we should have had 40, 48, 48, each of them. So N should have had 96 plus 48 into 3, 144, which is 40. Super. Now M lost this game, end with this. So before this game, each of them should have had half of that. 120, 24, 24. So M to begin with should have had 120 plus 24 plus 24 plus 48. These 3 add up to 96. 96 plus 120 is 260. This is the game we get after L has lost. L would have doubled what each of them had. So before game 2, should have had 108 and should have had 60. L is what we need to come to. K should have had 12. So 12 plus 24 plus 108 plus 60. 12 plus 24 is 36. 36 plus 108 is 144 plus 60 is 204. Wonderful. This game is a state we reach after K lost. So before that, L should have had 102, M should have had 54 and 30. So K should have had 102 plus 84 plus 12, 102 plus 96, 198. Not really sure of my math. I know this puzzle is completely nailed, so I'm going to back verify all data points. They end with 96, 96, 96, 96, total is 392. 240 plus, adding these 3, 48 into 3 is 194. This is wrong. 96 into 2 is 190, this is 384. 240 plus 144 is 384. Just checking if the totals add up. I know I've nailed this puzzle. So I'm just going to back check before we go on because this is cascading effect will be there for every error. 136 plus 24 is 240, 360, 384. Works well. 108 plus 204 is 312, 324, 384. Works well. 84 plus 300, 384. Works well. 198, this doubles. So we lose 102 plus 54, 156, 186. That works. 204, double. So 120 plus, 60 plus 108 is 168 plus 12 is 180. Reduce that, you get this. And double, double, double. That has worked. 120 plus 24 plus 24 is 120 plus 48 plus 48. This also works. Finally, double, double, double. This works. So all of our numbers are good. Now we are going to verify and check. Those extra 2 minutes are not going to hurt you. Be sure of your answer. Who started with the highest number? Kavita. Bam, you're going to answer that. Good. Well done, Kavita. How many rupees did Mamata start with? Mamata is M. She started with 54. There you go. What is the amount left with Kavita at the end of the second round? At the end of the first round, we start with this much. At the end of the first round, she had 12. At the end of the second round, she had 24. Oh, only that many questions. We spent too much time for this. The following 2 questions are based on the lady or the tiger puzzles. In each question, the prisoners, I hate these ones, but I'm going to try this because we're doing good on time. The following 2 questions are based on the lady or the tiger puzzles. In each question, the prisoner is faced with a decision where he must open one of 2 doors. Behind each door is either a lady or a tiger. They may be both tigers, both ladies, or one of each. If the prisoner opens a door to find a lady, he'll marry her. And if he opens a door to find a tiger, he'll be eaten alive. Some will say both are the same result, but jokes are for different time. Of course, the prisoner would prefer to be married than eaten. They made that very explicit. I think one of those people with funny bones who setting the question. Each of the doors has a sign bearing a statement that may be either true or false. Fabulous. And statement on door 1 says, in this room there is a lady, and in the other room there is a tiger. Statement on door 2 says, in one of these rooms there is a lady, and in one of the rooms there is a tiger. The prisoner is informed that one of the statements is true and one is false. What will the prisoner find in each of the 2 doors in the order of the first and then the second? It's very simple. The first statement were true. In this room there is a lady, in the other room there is a tiger. The second is also true. One of the rooms there is a lady, in the other there is a tiger. So the first statement, if that is true, then both are true. We know that. But we've been told that one is true and one is false. So the first statement has to be false, and the second one has to be true. So the first one, which has to be false, says in this room there is a lady, and in the other room there is a tiger. That means that is not true. We don't have lady, then tiger. Should we have the exactly opposite, tiger and lady? True, because the second statement is true. We're looking for tiger and lady, choice B. Wonderful. Second try. The statement on door 1 says at least one of these rooms contains a lady. The statement on door 2 says a tiger is in the other room. Both the statements are either true or both are false. Right. Let's see whether both can be true. At least one of these rooms contains a lady. So a tiger is in the other room. So you can have a scenario where a tiger is in the first room, a lady is in the second room, and both will be true. At least one of these rooms contains a lady. Tiger and lady, both could be true. First statement is true, second statement is true. Can both be false? At least one of these rooms contains a lady. That means if that has to be false, both should not contain lady. So both should be tigers. In which case, the second statement, tiger is in the other room, that will become true. That's not possible. So we cannot have a scenario where both are false. We can only have a scenario where both are true. That means the first one is a tiger, and the second one is a lady. We're looking for tiger, lady. Bam. Doctor sees the patient 13th of July, 4 appointments. Let me see how many questions are there. Seems like a reasonable question. Only 3 questions. 25, 26, 27, 28. There's 4 questions here. 29, 30, 31, 32. I feel good, so I'm going to offer the 4 question one. The 3 question one will come to if we have time. This is a mathematical one. This is right up my alley. I love these questions. So I'm going to definitely nail this and then see if I can nail the other 4 question one. Then we'll go to DI and then Nputella. We're going to nail this. We're doing well. We're on fire. We look to nail this completely. So, come on, let's go. 3 people, A, B, and C, each have some children. Wonderful. A has at least 1 girl and twice as many boys as girls. at least one girl and twice as many boys as girls. At least one girl. We go to the next page so that you can write this down very clearly. A has at least one girl and twice as many boys as girls. That's x and 2x, x greater than or equal to 1. B has at least one girl and 3 times as many boys as girls. B has at least one girl, thrice as many boys as girls. Y greater than or equal to 1. C has at least one girl and 3 more boys than girls. This is funny. Has at least one girl. C has Z and Z plus 3. 3 more boys than girls. Total number of children is less than 20. If you're told the number of children, you would still not be able to guess the number of kids of even one of A, B, or C. Oh my God, that was a simple puzzle. It's one of those open-ended, look, I'm not giving you anything, why don't you still try type of questions. So it's going to be fabulously tough. Yeah, people who try gamely, they love this stuff. Right? C has at least one girl, so Z is also greater than girl. Man, this is easy, you want to nail this. So what could be the numbers for A? The total number of children by A is a multiple of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, etc. B has to have a multiple of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, etc. C, total number of kids, Z and Z plus 2Z plus 3, at least 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, and so on. Z were 1, we would have 5. Z were 2, we would have 7. 2Z plus 3. 2 into 3 plus 3, 2 into 4 plus 3. If you're given the total, you would still not be able to get it. I don't know how to process it. I'm thinking, but I'm going to go step by step, very methodically, anally here. You would still not be able to guess. So suppose you're given a total number. What can be the minimum total? The total has to be more than 12. That much we know. 12 or more. So we're looking at the total as 12 or more. The total is less than 20. So the total could be 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 or 16 or 17 or 18 or 19. Boom! I already know where we are going. Now I know how to crack this puzzle. Imagine the total could only be one of these numbers. If the total were 12, what can you say for sure? The 12, what can you say for sure? What can you definitely say? It's a very, very, very vital point. And this is how I started thinking. The total is 12. What does it tell you? That means A has to have 3 kids, B has to have had 4, C has to have had 5. Only one possible solution. So if I know the total number, that is 12, then I can answer this question. 12 is only 3 plus 4 plus 5. And therefore, it is not 12. Wonderful. So we're good. We're on to something. Fine. So 12 is ruled out as a total. Because if it were 12, then I'll be able to answer the question. The total were 13. How can you say? What can you say about that? So 13. This were 3, and these two should add up to 10. It's only odd numbers. There's only even numbers. Odd number plus even number is odd. Odd plus 3 cannot be 13. So this cannot be 3. This were 6. These two add up to 9 minimum. Right? So this were 6. This has to be 15 minimum total. So this has to be 3, which is impossible. So total cannot be 13 any which way. 12 ruled out. 13 is not even possible. So I'm getting somewhere. We need 6 more numbers. There's going to be one number here, or more than one number here, where 2 possibilities of adding up x, y, and z will result in that number. That's what we're looking for. Total is 14. 14, 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 12. 3 plus 4 plus 7 is 14. And 3, 4, 7 is 14. 3, 4, 5 is 12. If you shifted 1 here, you're going to add 3, add 4, add 2. It's only one combination. 3, 4, 7 is the only combination possible. So we put 3, 4, 7 works. Here 3, 4, 5 works. but only 3, 4, 7 works. So 14 is not an answer either. Fabulous, getting somewhere now. 3, 4, 5, only possibility, therefore we have ruled out. 3, 4, 7, only possibility, therefore we have ruled out. We still have 5 more numbers, but already we can sense that 15, 16, 17 will have more possibilities. 15, what are the possibilities? 3, 4, 5 added up to 12. We need to add 3 more. If you jack up this, we'll get 4 more. If you jack up this, we'll get 2 more or 4 more. This has to be 6, 4, 5. Nothing else is possible. The total is 15. If this were 3, the other 2 should add up to 12. This is always even, this is always odd. These 2 add up to an odd number. The total were 3, it's impossible. The total minimum has to be 6. If 6, 6, 4, 5 works, only one combination again ruled out. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous question. I'm beginning to like this question even more. So the total cannot be 12, 13, 14 or 15. It cannot be 12, 14, 15 because there's only one possibility by which the total can be 12, 13 or 12, 14 or 15. 13 is just not possible. So you can rule out 13. And so where will more combinations be possible? Think about this. From 4, I can jack up to 8, or from 5, I can jack up to 9. My total increases by 4 in both scenarios. That is a possibility. And after wherever I increase by x, we should be able to offset it by an increase in y or z. Then we are on to something. And so it's a very interesting idea. If one combination had y as 4, if I jacked it up to 8, it will be the same as taking 5 and jacking up to 9. So that is what we are looking for here. Right? So let's see if we can lay our hands on that. 16, I already have suspicion about 16. From 3, 4, 5, that's my starting point. I like 3, 4, 5. I have to add 4 more. If I added increased x, I'll get only 3 more. If I increase y, I'll get 4 more. So I have 3, 8, 5. That works. Wonderful. Or we could have 3, 4, 9. Instead of increasing this by 1, we could increase this by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So either I can increase y by 1 or increase z by 2. I'll be having the same resultant number. So 3, 8, 5 or 3, 4, both are possible. So 16 could be our total. Fabulous. Wonderful question. Good question number. Let's look at 17 now. Our total can be 16, but I'm not done with that. It could be 17, 18 or 19 as well. 17 is 15 plus 2 or 14 plus 3. So 14 plus 3 would give us 6, 4, 7. 15 plus 2 would give us again 6, 4, 7. I'm increasing this by 2 or I'm increasing this by 3. And so 17, both are same possibility, 6, 4, 7. It looks like there's only one possibility for 17. Now 17 is an odd number. These two add up to odd. So x has to be even. X has to be 6. It cannot be 12. That is too high. If x is 6, other two should add up to 11. Only possibility is 4 and 7. Therefore, it cannot be 17. We've done with only 16 so far as possibility, but I'm already suspicious. This question is too good to have only one possibility. I know that there's going to be one more. We need to unlock that. 18. 15 plus 3, 16 plus 2, or 14 plus 4. And 16 plus 3 would mean 9, 4, 5. Or 16 plus 2, 3, 8, 7. Or 14 plus 4, 3, 8, 7. These two are same. Again, two possibilities, but 9, 4, 5 and 3, 8, 7. Once again, we know that 18 is an even number, so x has to be odd. So x can be either 3 or 9. 15 is too high. If x is 3, the other 2 should add up to 15. The other 2 in this case should add up to 9. Adding up to 9 is only 4 plus 5. Adding up to 15 could be 4 and 11 as well. 3, 4, 11. That's an interesting possibility. 3 for A, 4 for Y, and 11 for Z. So 3, 4, 11 is possible. If x were 3, should add up to 15. If x were 9, should add up to 9 is only one possibility. If x were 3, the other 2 should add up to 15. It could be 8 and 7 or 4 and 11. It cannot be 12 and something. So it's either 4 and 8, but both are possible. With 18, we have 3 possibilities. Fabulous. So our total could be 16 or 18. Let's go to 19. We need some more space. Let's scramble this up. I hate this word plus. That. Let's look at 19. 19. So x is odd. So if x were 3, the other two should add up to an odd number. It's an even number. That's not possible. So x cannot be 3. It can be 6 or 12 or 18. It cannot be 12. The other two cannot add up to merely 7. So x is 6 is the only possibility. So y plus z should be 13. It's the one place I hate this Windows journal. Y plus z should be 13. It could be 4 plus 9. It could be 8 plus 5. 4 and 9, 8 and 5. Both are possible. 12 and something is not possible. So it could be 6, 4, 9. So 6, 4, 9. 6, 8, 5. Or x, y, z. Right? So our total could be 16, 18, or 19. 16 because it could be 3, 8, 5 or 3, 4, 9. 18 because it could be 9, 4, 5 or 3, 8, 7 or 3, 4, 11. 19 because it could be 6, 4, 9 or 6, 8, 5. According to me, all of these are possible. Let's go to the questions and have a go at that. So 16, 18 or 19 could be the total. You will still not be able to find the 3 answers. But I seem to have missed one very important one. If you told the total number of children, you will still not be able to get the number of kids of even one of A, B, or C. Only now my eyes open. So if the total were 16, then you would jump out and say, look, A has 3 children. And so it's not 16. Fabulous question. I'm falling in love with this question. The total were 18. It could be 9, 4, 5, 3, 8, 7, 3, 4, 11. A could be 9 or 3. B could be 4 or 8. C could be 5, 7 or 11. It could be 18. 19 is 6, 4, 5, 9, 6, 8, 5. 19 is not possible. The total is only 18. So it's either 9, 4, 5, 3, 8, 7 or 3, 4, 11. The total is only one possible value. Fabulous question. And just a wonderful question. If A has more than 5 kids, how many kids does C have? A has more than 5. If A has 9, C would have 5. Done. What are the total number of kids A, B, and C have put together? 18. We know that. If B has more than 5 kids, how many girls does C have? How many girls does C have? Oh my God. B has more than 5 kids. B has 8. So C has 7 kids totally. 2z plus 3 is 7. Z is 2. Z plus 3 is 5. It is 2 plus 5, 7. How many girls does C have? It's 2, not the total. They've given me a choice of 7, I would probably mark it. I'm thinking how many kids C has. How many girls does C have? 2 girls, 5 boys. If C has 2 girls, that means 2 girls and 5 boys, 7 totally. 7 totally. So we're looking at a combination 3, 8, 7. That means A should have 3 kids totally. How many boys? Oh, wonderful. 29, 30, 31, 32 or 11 to 16. I don't want to end with LR. I'm going to go for this as well. The last one was really tough. So this one, I hope we don't take that much time. 5 students, P, Q, R, S, and T took an exam which had a total of 5 questions. 2 of the questions were multiple choice questions, A, B, or C, and 3 were false questions, D or F. The answers given by the students for each of the questions is given below. No 2 students got the same number of correct answers, and no one got all the answers correct. No 2 students got the same number of correct answers. No one got all the answers correct. Oh, fabulous. So the number of answers correct is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Someone should have got 0 answers correct, and the other should have got 1, 2, 3, 4 correct. wonderful question. So let's work backwards and see how we can correct this. So the number of correct answers that each of them have got is 0. Each of them has got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Somebody has got nothing right. Someone has got 4 correct. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to start with someone who's got nothing correct. Make an assumption there, and then start with that. And I'm going to say someone who's got nothing correct. That could be, let's say, that is P. New page. Assume that that's P. That means the correct answers are not A, false, false, false. This question will take some time because I'm toggling too much. Then I can find out how many of these have got what answer correct. And we can go for that from there on. I'm taking this method to do this. So they've got nothing correct. Somebody has got nothing correct and somebody has got 4 out of 5 correct. You can start with either one of them. Fine, and then we can build from there. So one student has got nothing correct, one student has got 4 out of 5 correct. So properly tricky one. I don't want to waste more time than maybe 1 more minute if I don't get the critical point for this and dumping this. And nothing correct. 4 out of 5 correct. You can either start with the nothing correct part or the 4 out of 5 correct part. Someone had got all 5 correct, that would have been brilliant. B, B, D, F, D, A, B, D, F. Many combinations. I'm just thinking whether we can take question number 3, 2 is the correct answer, and then say how many have gotten that right. Question number 4, false is the correct answer, how many have gotten them right, and then build from there. Too many variants there. If you say P is the one who's got nothing right, then the true or false answers would be false, false, false. And so Q would have got 2 of them wrong, R would have got 2 of them wrong, S would have got 2 of them wrong, and T would have got 2 of them wrong. So if P gets all 5 wrong, we have 2, 2, 2 wrong for all these. Means the 3 false that are there, that's not possible. So P has not got everything wrong. Straight away, I'm going to look only at the true or false questions and then build from there. If the true or false questions, if Q had got everything wrong, then Q's true or false question would read false, true, false. False, true, false. Write everything down here. He has A, B, T, 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 A, B, T, T, T. Q has B, B, P, F, P, B, B, P, F, P. R has got A, B, P, F. S has got B, C, P, P, F. P has got C, A, F, P, P. P could not have got everything wrong because the correct answer should be F, F, F. And then F, 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 all of them are getting 2 wrong. One guy who got only 1 wrong. So P is not the guy who got 0 wrong. T, F, T is to T, T, F. If R were the guy who got everything wrong, the correct answers here would be F, F, T. F, F, T, he would have got 2 wrong. T, F, T, Q would have got 1 wrong. S would have got 3 wrong. All 3 wrong. And F, T, F is correct. F is wrong. T is correct. F, T, T. F is correct. F is wrong. T is correct. 1 wrong. This is possible. So R or S could have got everything wrong. It's very much a possibility because in the 3 wrong, only one of these has to be slightly different. We could have something going there. And so R or S both could have got all 5 wrong. That is a possibility. Okay. Now, if T had got everything wrong, the correct answers would have been T, F, F. So P would have got 2 wrong. Q would have got 1 wrong. T, F, F. 1 wrong, all 3 wrong. Only 1 wrong for these 3 guys. Only 1 each wrong. So can there be a guy who gets 4 questions wrong? A would have to be the guy who gets 4 questions wrong. If T were the guy with all 5 wrong, P would have to be the guy who gets 4 questions wrong. Q should get 3 wrong, 2 wrong, and 1 wrong. Out of these 3, one of them should have got the other 2 right. B were correct, 1 wrong and 1 wrong. That's not possible. If Q has got both correct, we are in trouble. If R has got both correct, then Q gets 1 right, S gets 2 wrong. Then P would also have 1 correct. That's not possible. P should have got 4 wrong. So again, I think we can rule out T as the guy being all wrong as well. My suspicion is one of R or S has got everything wrong. Right? So R or S has got everything wrong. And therefore we're down with Q or T being the guys who got only 1 wrong. Is that possible? Q or T being the person getting only 1 wrong. If Q has got only 1 wrong, these 2 are correct. Then these 2 should be wrong. 3 wrong. I'm getting all confused. We're choosing R. We're choosing the correct answers here to be F, T. These are the errors they're carrying. One of them should have got everything wrong. One of these 2 should have got both of these correct. We assume B and P to be the ones that are correct. Assume that. And P has got a total of 3 wrong. Q has got only 1 wrong. A has got, R has got 4 wrong totally. S has also got 4 wrong totally. Doesn't work. So let's assume C has got only 1 wrong. So C has got, C and A are the correct answers. And again, S has got all 5 wrong. R has also got all 5 wrong. That again is not possible. So we're down to in the middle of nowhere. We're losing time like anything. I think we got stuck with the wrong logical reasoning puzzle. Assume it was too easy because it was a short question. Only one possibility. I'm going to go for a Hail Mary and then see if that works. If that doesn't work, we're in trouble. Right? So R or S cannot have all 5 wrong. We've realized that. So Q could have all 5 wrong, which gets the right answer. Q has all 5 wrong. T, F, T should have been F, T, F. That is the right answer. F, T, F are right. So that means P has got 2 wrong. Q has got all 3 wrong. F, T, F, 1, 1. F, T, T, only 1. 1, 1, 1. 3. Q has got everything wrong is what we have assumed. So one of these 3 should have got both of these correct. We assume A and B are both correct. Then P has got only 2 wrong. That's not possible. P needs to have 4 wrong. We already know that. So this is not possible. If B and C are correct, then P has 4 wrong. Q has 5 wrong. B and C are correct. R has 3 wrong. S has only 1 wrong. Ah, damn it. T has 3 wrong. Another one. Right, so let's go for here. Let's assume C and A are correct. Then P has 4 wrong. B has 5 wrong. R has 3 wrong. S again has 3 wrong. And P has only 1 wrong. No, I'm not going anywhere with this. I'm going to dump this. I thought it was this close. I'm going to go for the safe DI and then salvage something out of this. I thought that was 10, 11 minutes lost because I was greedy. I would have probably nailed the 22, 23, 24 seconds. Oh, let's at least nail this. Apple juice, 1 cup, 1 cup, 1 cup. Calories, cholesterol, fat. Approximate energy consumption for a 68-year-old kg adult during some activities. 72, 550, 639, 600, 540, blah, 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 fast swimming, slow swimming. Is assumed to be a 68 kg. As a cup each of apple juice, baked beans, coffee and tea. Apple juice, baked beans, coffee, and tea with sugar. It has some activities for an hour. It is left with no additional calories than before consumption. So we are worrying only about calories. 116.6. Baked beans is 385.8. Let's use the calculator. 116.6 plus 385.8 plus coffee and tea. Guy has coffee and tea. Proper loser. 3.6 plus tea with sugar is 127.6. 633.6. 633.6 is the number of calories he's had. His activities could have been any of the following except doing nothing for 10 minutes, nothing, basal metabolism is 72 per hour, swimming for the rest. We don't know whether it's fast swimming or slow swimming. And fast swimming for the rest. 50 minutes of fast swimming, more than 633 calories straight away. 5 6 of 860. That's more than 600. So that's out. So no additional calories than before consumption. So here we'll have no additional calories. Cycling for 58 minutes and fast dancing for 2 minutes. 639 into 639 into 58 divided by 60 equal to 617. Then fast dancing for 2 minutes. 617.7 plus 20, 637.7. So that will work. Fast swimming for 5 minutes, cycling for the rest of 55. Cycling for 55. So let's start again. That is 639 into 11 by 12 is equal to this 585.75. Fast swimming for 5 minutes. 585 plus 639, that is 860. I don't have to worry, it will be more than 633. So this will be more, this will be more. This should be the last one. Advanced tennis for 10 minutes and slow swimming for the remaining 48. This is lesser, what you're looking for. Man, got it. Next one. The person consumes 3 different items, all 3 1 full serving each in measured, one measures mentioned in the table, and the additional fat is 27.7. The additional cholesterol, that is 27.7. Some 3 numbers should add up to 27.7. It's an unholy question. It should be illegal to give questions like this. 12 plus 13 is 25. You should have had one of these 3. It's 27.7. Right? So 12.8 plus 13.1. 12 plus 13 is 25. 25.9 plus 1.8. Is there a 1.8 somewhere? There's no 1.8 anywhere. So if we add these 2, we don't get 14.6 plus 13.1. That is 27.7. 14.6 plus 13.1 is 27.7. That's the fat. So you could, the third item could have been beef or coffee or tea. Three possibilities: beef or coffee or tea. In any case, the additional cholesterol in all of these, there's no additional cholesterol. So it could have still been any of these three. So we can still answer the question, one of these zeros. So it could have been 14.6 plus 13.1. Let's add the other two. 12.8 plus 14.6. So there is 15.4, 27.4. There's a 0.3. There's a 0.3 here and a 0.3 here. Both are possible. Then for 27.7, there are multiple possibilities. So there are multiple things that cannot be done. Super wonderful. I had a banana, a slice of bread, a piece of cake, and 1 cup of low-fat milk. While my colleague had 1 cheese biscuit, 1 fried egg. I can't afford to see one more. This is a different data set. I got that wrong as well. Go to 13. A banana, a slice of bread, a piece of cake, and 1 cup of low-fat milk. Percentage calories. Banana, where are you? 104.9, slice of bread, plus slice of bread, where are you? Bread, 1 slice is 69.2. A piece of cake, 138.7. Plus 1 cup of low-fat milk. Low-fat milk is 121.7. 434.5. So 434.5 is what I have. I'm going to write that number down somewhere. My colleague had 1 cheese biscuit. 1 cheese biscuit is 115.3. Let's clear this. 115.3 plus 1 fried egg. 1 fried egg is 91.2. 91.2 plus 1 chop of pork. 1 chop of pork is 143.5. 143.5 plus 1 cup of tofu. Where are you, tofu? Plus 139.5. 489.5 is the total there. 434.5 was ours. So divided by 434.5 is equal to 12.6%. Finally, that is good. I think it. What percentage of number of cases sold did Coke Classic and Diet Coke contribute to the total number of cases sold in 1997 for Coca-Cola company? Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola. What is the present number of cases sold in 1997? Coke Classic and Diet Coke. Coke Classic. Let's go Classic. And Diet Coke. What is Coca-Cola company? How do I know which one is a Coca-Cola company? I'm not going to get this. I think we're done with this. I've underperformed majorly in this. Skip 10 questions. I'm reasonably confident of the ones that I've answered, but I really should have nailed that final logical reasoning puzzle to have had a good set. Otherwise, if I've dumped that, I've definitely nailed this. 3 more for sure. 4 more if I've been good, but poor because of that. Let me see if I can recover in quant. I'm already tired. Putting all of this down to the fact that this is on video. Otherwise, I would have got that set. Right? Real we use 16% of his fuel. I don't know fuel percentages. First 20 terms of series 1, 3, 7, 15, 31, etc. So powers of 2 minus 1, 2 power 1 minus 1, 2 square minus 1, 2 cube minus 1, 2 power 4 minus 1, blah 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 blah. Simple question. So solve this rapidly. I know this. So I'm looking at 2 power 1 plus 2 square plus 2 cube all the way to 2 power 20 minus 20. All the minus ones I subtract. And so 2 power 1 plus 2 square is 2 cube minus 1. This is 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 32 and so on. Right? 1 plus 2 plus 4. If you add 1 also to this, 1 plus 2 plus 4 is 8 minus 1. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 is 16 minus 1. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 is 32 minus 1. So all of this, including 2 power 0, all of this would add up to 2 power 21 minus 1. Not even including that. 2 power 21 minus 2 minus 20. Okay, 2 power 21 minus 22. 2 power 21 minus 2 minus 20. So it's just wonderful. At least you're off to a good start in quantity. How many multiples of 4 with distinct digits exist less than 10 power 4, whose decimal notation consists only of the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, and 5? Multiples of 4 less than 10,000 would be 4 digit, 3 digit, 2 digit. I don't want to count so much. We'll come back to that later on. Given two quadratic equations, x square minus x plus m equal to 0, x square minus x plus 3m equal to 0. Of what value of m will one of the roots of the second equation be equal to twice a root of the first equation? Second equation should be twice that of first equation. This I can solve. X square minus x minus m equal to 0 plus m equal to 0. X square minus x plus 3m equal to 0. Second equation should be twice a root of the first equation. X square minus x plus m equal to 0. So k square minus k plus m equal to 0. 2k the whole square minus 2k plus 3m equal to 0. Both should be satisfied. K square minus k plus m equals 4k square minus 2k plus 3m, or 3k square minus 2k plus k plus 3m minus m equal to 0, or 3k square minus k plus 2m equal to 0. Just put one root is twice of this and then plus 3m. And what value of m will this whole group? Doesn't really work. I'm not going anywhere with this. Let's see if I can do the brute force way from the choices. X square minus x plus 2 equal to 0. Let's say x square minus x plus 2 equal to 0. Product should be 2, sum should be minus 1. I can't really split the middle term. I'm going to forget this 2. Minus 3. X square minus x minus 3 equal to 0. Minus 3x plus x minus 3 equal to 0. X into x minus 3 plus 1 into x minus 3 equal to 0. X plus 1 into x minus 3 equal to 0 here. So x could be minus 1 or plus 3 if m were minus 3. So x square minus x minus 9 equal to 0. X square minus x minus 9 equal to 0. That's the other equation. We break this into break minus 9 and factorize it to get a product of that's not happening. So minus 3 is not possible. So let's put minus 2. X square minus x minus 2 is 0. X square minus x minus 6 is 0. This breaks us 2 and minus 2 and 1. This can break us minus 3 and 2. This works. X equal to minus 2. This will become x minus 2 into x plus 1. This will become x plus 2 minus 2 into x plus 3, x plus 2 into x minus 3. And the roots are 2 and minus 1 and minus 2 and 3. This is twice of that. The answer is minus 2. Wonderful question. Got it wrong in the first iteration. Very good. Log square of x minus 3 log x is log x square minus 4. You know, I can name this log square of x minus 3 log x equals 2 log x minus 4. Log square x minus 5 log x plus 4 equal to 0, or log x minus 1 into log x minus 4 is 0. Log x is 1 or 4. So if log x is 1, x could be 1, sorry, x could be 10, talking to the base 10. It cannot be 10 power 4. That's not among the choices. If x is 10, log x is 1. So this is 1 minus 3 is 2 minus 4. That works. Wonderful. If x and a are two positive numbers, then what is the least value of ax plus x by a? Positive values, ax plus x by a. Wonderful question. Standard question if you know the basics. Ax plus x by a is greater than or equal to square root of ax into x by a. Ax plus x by a is greater than or equal to square root of x square mod x. Ax plus x by a are two positive digits. 2x plus x by 2, 4x plus x by 4. X plus x by 5. Very interesting question. A plus 1 by a greater than or equal to, it's greater than or equal to 2x is what I'm looking for. The question is x and a. What is the least value of ax plus x by a? X plus x by 5, 4x plus x by 4, 3x plus x by 3. So depend on a. In terms of a, what does this become? Let's write it like this. A plus 2a plus 2 by a plus 1 by a. It's given with x times a plus 1 by a. A plus 1 by a is definitely greater than or equal to 2. So this is definitely greater than or equal to 2x. Interesting question. Not just AMGM inequality. A plus 1 by a is always greater than or equal to 2. X times a plus 1 by a is always greater than or equal to 2x. Funny looking question because there are two variables here. 35 liters of petrol is found to be adulterated to the extent of 10%. How many liters of the adulterated mixture should be replaced by pure petrol? The level of purity increases to 98%. So wonderful question. So let's do this scrolling down part. So this 35 liters is adulterated to the extent of 10%. 3.5 is adulteration, 31.5 is good. Taking this adulterated mixture should be replaced by pure petrol. So we are shrinking the adulterated component. Level of purity should increase to 98%. It was 2% of 35. 1% is 0.35, so it should become 0.7 and 34.3. This is what it should become. Or the impurity should fall from 3.5 to 0.7, or we are carving out 80%, reducing the impurity component by 80%. or if you take out 80% of 35 liters, which is 28 liters. So take out 28 liters, that is 80% of 35. And the impurity will fall by 80%. 3 point, this will shrink. This will increase. I don't care about this. I want to track only this. 3.5 should become 0.7. I'm removing 80% of the impurity. How can you remove 80% of the impurity? By removing 80% of the mixture. 80% of 35, 28. Good, done. Next. What is the value of k if x cubed plus 3x squared minus kx plus 4 leaves a remainder x minus 2? Polynomial remainder theorem. When you divide by x minus 2, remainder is p of 2. X cubed plus 3x squared. X cubed is 8 plus 3x squared. 3 into 4 is 12 minus kx minus 2k plus 4. That is p of 2 is equal to k. And we're done. Solve for this, you're going to get the answer. Polynomial, when you divide a polynomial of x by x minus a, remainder is p of a. And so 8 plus 12 is 20, 20 plus 4 is 24 is equal to 3k, or k is 8. Good. We're getting some speed, but we need to really keep on. I'm still irritated by the TI, we live. And we are 2 students who take the CAT. The probability that A is selected by IIM Calcutta in a year is 0.6. The probability that both A and B are selected by IIM Calcutta in the year is at most 0.25. So A is 0.6, A and B are selected is at most 0.25. Wonderful question. A is 0.6. This is 0.6. This is maximum 0.25. This is minimum 0.35. The probability that P is selected by hand calculator in the year cannot exceed. It has to be maximum. So put this as 0. Other 3 should add up to at least 1. This adds up to 0.6. This is 0.6. It should be maximum 0.4. So less than or equal to 0.25. Maximum is 65%. And 0.65. Cannot exceed 0.65. Good enough answer. Wonderful. We're on fire here. Which among the following investments has the lowest return? 7% rupees 100 shares at 120. Return generally refers to rate of return. I'm going to scroll again. Looking at 7 rupees on a 120 buck investment. 8 by 13.5. 0.8 by 13.5 or 8 by 135. 9 rupees, 50 rupees, 4.5 by 54 or 4.5 by 54. There's a 9 that is common. Double just a 9. 9 by 108. 1 by 12. You want to find the least of these. 7 by 120. 8 by 135. 1 by 12. 1 by 12, 7 by 120. So it's lesser. Forget about this. Comparing only these two. 7 by 120 and 8 by 135. Multiply 7 into 135, 8 into 120. This is 960. 7 into 135, 5, 3, 24, 4, 2, 945. This is higher. This is lesser. 7% 120 share is lesser. Is what you're looking for. Good. Next one. A man invests rupees 5,000 for 3 years at 5% compound interest recurrent yearly. Tax at the rate of 20% of the interest rate at the end of each year. Find the amount at the end of the 3rd year. Tax at the end of 20%, so it generates 5% interest. 5% of 5,000, of which 20% goes off. And then you add that remaining to the principal. Effectively, this interest amount at the end is after 20% interest, or you can say this compound interest rate is only 4%. So how do I do this? I'm going to say 1.04 into 1.04 into 1.04 equal to this number into 5. 5624.32. Bingo. 80% is retained, 20% is given away. And so, therefore, the remaining only 4% rate of interest. Instead of doing each step and reducing tax, I'm saying compound interest rate is 4%. Let's simplify that. In a group, 30% of the men are more than 25 years old, and 80% of the men are less than or equal to 50 years old. 20% of all men, 30% of the men are more than 25, and 80% are less than or equal to 50. 20% of all men play football. 20% of the men above the age of 50 play football. What percentage of football players are less than or equal to 50 years of age? 20% of the men above the age of 50. 80% of the men are less than or equal to 50 years old. 20% of the men above the age. 20% of the total, 20% are more than 50 years old. 20% of the men above the age of 50 play football. That's 4% of the total. And so 4% of the total who play football are men above the age of 50. Above the age of 50, there are 20%, of which 20% play football. So 4% of the total men who play football are above 50. So remaining 16% are below 50. What percentage of the football players are less than or equal to 50 years of age? Out of the 20%, 16% are less than or equal to 50 years. Good question. What of percentage? The two concentric circles, the area between the two circles is 346.5 square centimeters. The circumference of the inner circle is 88 centimeters. What is the radius of the outer circle? Simple question. Inner circle is 88 centimeters. Two by 7 into R is 88. Is 4. This is 4. R is 28 centimeters. Inner circle radius is 28 centimeters. And then we know that 22 by 7 into R square minus R square, 346.5. Pi R square minus pi R square, 346.5. It's 22 by 7 into R square minus R square. This is divisible by 11, so let's knock off on 11. 346.5 by 11 is 33. 316 is 1. 31.5. R square minus R square is 31.5 into 7 by 2. Let's use the calculator now. 31.5 into 7 divided by 2. 110.25. This is then 28 square. 28 square, I know that is 784. To that we add this plus 784 equal to this. When you take square root of this, what is the radius of the earth? Circumference is 88. So 2 into 22%. So radius of the inner circle is 14, not this. So 110 minus 784. Let's get back to this number. 110.25. I am getting old. Plus 196. It's 306.25. It should be 17 and a half. 17 square and 18 square. We still recovered. They should have given us that other choice. Cycling 28. I don't like speed time. I'm skipping this. Running around the track simultaneously. No speed time. Maximum number of points of intersection of n equal circles. Equal doesn't matter. I'm going to do this by trial and error. 1 circle and 2 circle. 2 points of interaction in circle. 3 circle. We add that third circle. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more points come. Right? We add that new circle. There will be 6 more points. If I add a new circle, it will cut this circle into this circle into this circle into. So we are looking at adding up 2 circles. There are 2 points. 3 circles, 4 points. 4 circles. Just take 3 circles. Let's do this. 2 circles, there are 2 points. There are 3 circles, 4 more points. So this is 6. 4 circles, 6 more points. 12. 5 circles, 20, 6 circles, 30, and then so on. This is 2 times 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. I know these numbers. This is 1 plus 2. This is 1 plus 2 plus 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, etc. 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 2 times that. I know these numbers. This is nothing but 5 into 6. This is 4 into 5, 3 into 4, 2 into 3, etc. So n into n minus 1 is what I'm looking for. There we have an n into n minus 1. At 4:15, angle between the two hands of the clock. 4:15. I'm going to draw this like this. So 4:15. This is 3. This is 4. This is more than 30 degrees. 1/4 of 30 degrees more than 30 degrees. Bam, got that. 4:15. Our hand is beyond 4. Minute hand is at 3. 37.5. Sitter question. Which of the following is true? An isosceles triangle can never be obtuse. Bang up my alley. Isosceles triangle can easily be obtuse. 120, 30, 30. The 3 medians of a triangle divided into 6 triangles of equal area. They probably do. I'm not sure of this. First one is not true. It can be obtuse. The sides of a scalene triangle are all integers, and one of the sides cannot be of length 1 unit. If one of the sides is of length 1 unit, then the other 2, the difference should be less than 1. That's impossible. They're all integers. So statement C is also true. So which of the following is true? Sorry, C is true. A is not true. A is not true. C is definitely true. So we still have to validate B. I was hoping we didn't need to. Medians of a triangle. So let's skip one more page. Medians of a triangle. So this median divides into 2 equal areas. Draw this median also. This cuts at the 2/3 point. These 2 will have equal area. I'm not sure of that. On this median also. A median cuts a triangle into 2 equal areas. 3 medians will they cut into 6 equal areas. I'm not so sure of that. Let me just think about this. Let's do this median ratio 2:3 part. This is 2x and x, 2y and y, 2z and z. This area, half into 2x into y into sine of this angle. This is equal to this. Z into 2y, 2y into z. This is equal to this. This is equal to this. All 6 need not be equal. Let's draw a very weird triangle. And then see if that holds good. This is 1. This is another. This is the third. These 2 should have equal area. These 2 should have equal area. These 2 should have equal area. There's pairs of equal area, but 6 triangles of equal area, not necessary. So only C is true. Which of the following is true? There's no only C. It's got to be B and C. So apparently they're able to do 6 triangles of equal area. I will check that out. I'm not really sure about that, but I will check that out. Good point to learn. A regular hexagon is inscribed in a circle of a radius 8. Joining 3 vertices of the hexagon forms an equilateral triangle. What is the area of region enclosed between the hexagon and the equilateral triangle? Good question. Regular hexagon is inscribed inside an equilateral triangle, inscribed inside a circle of radius 8. What does this mean? So we have a regular hexagon, which is 1, 2. So if it is inscribed inside a circle, it's a roundabout way of saying the side of the regular hexagon is 8. Joining 3 vertices of the hexagon forms an equilateral triangle. Why is this 8? Because regular hexagon is nothing but 6 equilateral triangles. Remember that. So joining 3 vertices, there must be this, this, and this. This is 120 degrees. So this is 8 root 3, 8 root 3, 8 root 3. So area of enclosed between the hexagon and the equilateral triangle. We want this. I think that will be half of regular hexagon. Let's do the same thing. Looking at root 3 by 4 into 8 square into 6, the area of regular hexagon. This is 8 root 3. Why 8 root 3? 8, 8 and 120 degrees. Or you can find this by joining this and this. This is altitude 8 into root 3 by 2, 8 plus root 3 by 2, 8 root 3. Equal triangle of side 8 root 3 by 4 into 8 root 3 whole square. So this is root 3 by 4 into 64 into 6. So root 3 by 4 into 64 into 3. That's exactly half of that. We're looking at root 3 by 4 into 64 into 3 as our answer, which is 48 root 3. This we got that also. This again we've got it. We're doing decently well, still a decent time. Consider right triangle sides A, B, and C all greater than 5 units, such that triangle with A plus 1, B plus 1, and C plus 1, and A minus 1, and B minus 1, and C minus 1 can also be constructed. How many of the following statements are true? A, B, C. Let's assume A less than or equal to B less than or equal to C. So we have A square plus B square equal to C square. A plus 1, B plus 1, and C plus 1. So we have to compare A plus 1 whole square plus B plus 1 whole square with C plus 1 whole square. A square plus 2A plus 1 plus B square plus 2A plus 1 compared with C square plus 2C plus 1. A square plus B square is C square. We have 2A plus 2B plus 2 and 2C plus 1. That's what we're effectively comparing. 2A plus 2B plus 2. This is A plus B plus 1. A plus B is greater than C. 2A plus 2B, this is greater than this. So we have A square, B square, C square as the three sides. And A plus 1, B plus 1, C plus 1 has got to be acute angle. A minus 1, B minus 1, C minus 1 will end up being obtuse angle. Give an example. 5, 12, 13 is right angle. 6, 13, 14 is acute. 4, 11, 12 will be obtuse. So A plus 1, B plus 1, C plus 1 will be acute angle. 2. A minus 1, B minus 1, C minus 1 may be acute angle. False. 2A, 2B, 2C minus 1 will be acute angle. 1 is true. 2 is not true. 2 will be obtuse angle. 2A, 2B, 2C minus 1. 2A square, 4A square, 4B square, 4C square minus 4C plus 1. This plus this will be greater than this. Or 2A, 2B, 2C minus 1 will be acute angle. So A and C both are true. We're looking at two statements. Wonderful question, wonderfully tough question. Too big, I don't want to do. Too verbose, I don't want to do. What is the value of x plus y given log xy to the base 2 is 5. Log half to the base x by y is 1. Wonderful question, very simple question. One more click. Xy to the base 2 or x into y is 2 power 5, which is 32. X by y is 1 by 2 power 1, which is 1 by 2. X by y is 1 by 2 or x by y is 1 by 2 or y equals 2x. So x into 2x is 32 or x square is 16, x is plus or minus 4, y is plus or minus 8. Correspondingly, we have 4 and 8 or minus 4 and minus 8. 4 comma 8 minus 4 and minus 8. Find the value of x plus y. They're clearly taking only plus and plus. 4 and 8, therefore. I'm worrying about the negative, so I'm saying 12. The midpoints of the sides of a triangle are joined, forming a second triangle. A third triangle is formed by joining the midpoints of the second. The process is continued infinitely. Area of the first triangle denoted by A. Find the sum of all this. I know this. I hope you also know this because it's very simple to deduce. I've just written down the answer, so I'm going to solve this. Joining midpoint and midpoint, midpoint and midpoint. So this, if you call this as large triangle, ABC, and this triangle as PQR, QR is half of BC, PQ is half of AB, RP is half of AC. Therefore, this area will be 1/4 of this area. All the sides are half. Area will be 1/4. So area of the big triangle is A. We're looking at A plus A by 4 plus A by 16 and so on. A by 1 minus R. First term is A by 1 minus 1 by 4. A by 3 by 4. 4 by 3A. The choices are a giveaway, but just scan this question and at the end. Find what is the radius of the circle passing through 5, 6, 7, 6, 6, and 2, minus 2. It will be daft to try this. I am trying this. 5, 7, 2, minus 2, 6, 6. Maybe there's something interesting in the numbers. I'll come to that later on. Find the smallest natural number that satisfies the following statements. 981 par n, 982 par n, 983 par n, 984 par n, 985 par n, 986 par n. And the same remainder when divided by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They don't have the same remainder. 981 by 7 remainder is 1. So it's 1 par n, 2 par n, 3 par n, 4 par n, 5 par n, 6 par n. 1 par n remainder will be 1. Everything else remainder should be 1 in this case. So this is famous Fermat's last theorem. Not last theorem, Fermat's little theorem. Last theorem is the horrendous top theorem. I know the answer is 6. It's a beautiful question, so revisit that. And dividing a number by 3, 4, and 7 successively, the remainders are 2, 1, and 4 respectively. The same number is divided by 84, then the remainder is 3, 4, and 1 successively. I'm going to do this by the difficult brute force method. So I have the number n, I divide it by 3, get a quotient p, and the remainder r, which is 2. I take p, I divide this by 4, I get a quotient q, I get a remainder r, which is 1. I take q, I divide this by 7, I get some quotient k, and a remainder which is 4. 2, 1, and 4 respectively in that order. So now we know that q is 7k plus 4. P is 4q plus 1. N is 3p plus 2. I'm going to substitute this here. So P is 4 times 7k plus 4 plus 1 is 28k plus 16 plus 1 is 28k plus 17. Plug that in here. 3 times 28k plus 17 plus 2, 84k plus 51 plus 2, from 84k plus 53. Divide the number by 84, the remainder should be. You know what the definition of remainders is? What the definition of successive division is. 2 grain thrashers managed to thrash the garner wheat in 4 days. If one of them thrashed half the wheat and then the other thrashed the other half, they would complete the job in 9 days. How many days would the slower thrasher take to do the job if he worked separately? Let's say the days are m and n. Number of days individually taken to be m and n. To thrash half of this would take m by 2, n by 2. N by 2 plus n by 2 is mu. 1 day to thrash 1 by m. 1 day to be 1 by n. 1 by m plus 1 by n is 1 by 4. Totally 4 days. M plus n is 18. 1 by m plus 1 by n is 1 by 4. We can try this. 12 and 6. 1 by 12 plus 1 by 6. So 1 by 12 plus 2 by 12 is 3 by 12, which is 1 by 4. 12 and 6 work for m and n. We want the slower thrasher to take 12 days, more days. I know I can guess from here. I should do that. For what integer values of a and b will one of the roots of the equation 3x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus 12 equal to 0 be root 3 plus 1? I don't even want to try this. To substitute x to be root 3 plus 1 for each of these values and see if it works. There definitely is going to be some method. which I don't know right now. There's something funny to this. It sounds vague, it sounds like they're all integer numbers, so there should be something funny in this. I don't know what it's funny in this, so I'm not touching this. Maybe I'll revisit this by doing sum of roots, product of roots, and all that. F of x is 4 by square root of x minus 3. G of x is square root of f of x whole square minus 9. For what values of x does exist and is defined? That's the function f of x. Both should be defined. So f of x is 4 by square root of x minus 3. So x should be greater than or equal to 3. That we know. G of x is square root of f of x whole square minus 9. That means f of x should be greater than or equal to 3. Or less than or equal to minus 3. It is modulus, so greater than or equal to 3. So modulus of 4 by square root of x minus 3 should be greater than or equal to 3. Means 4 by modulus of square root of x minus 3 should be greater than or equal to 3. 4 by or 1 by 4. This number should be small enough. It's like positive numbers, so I can cross multiply. Modulus of square root of x minus 3 should be less than or equal to 3 by 4. Sorry, it should be less than or equal to 4 by 3. Modulus of square root of x minus 3 should be less than or equal to 4 by 3. Or x minus 3 should be less than or equal to 16 by 9. X should be less than or equal to 27 by 9 plus 16 by 9, 43 by 9. It should be more than 3. Greater than or equal to 3, less than or equal to 43 by 9. Should have been less than or equal to, because it can be equal to 43 by 9. It cannot be equal to 43 by 9. It cannot be equal to 3 because it's a denominator, that I understand. Can it be equal to 43 by 9? It can be equal to 43 by 9, but they've missed out on anything, but this is the answer. Which of the following is necessarily true if a, b, c are greater than 0? A, b, c is greater than or equal to a square b plus b square plus 2abc. ABC should be greater than some big thing. If all of them are positive, greater than 2abc. A is definitely not true. All of these is definitely not true. A plus b into b plus c into c plus a is greater than or equal to 8abc. I thought I was going to touch this question. It's very simple. It need not be equal. Be equal only when a is equal to b equal to c. A plus b is greater than or equal to square root of ab. 2 times square root of ab. B plus c is greater than or equal to 2 times square root of bc. 2 times square root of ca. So 8 times square root of a square b square c square. 8 abc. Good. F of x is 1 by root of 4 minus x square. And g of x is f of x. Wonderful. Let's find f of x. F of x is 1 by square root of 4 minus x square. This is f of x. G of x equals f of x. What is the domain for which g is defined? F is defined when x lies between minus 2 and 2. So x takes some value between minus 2 and 2, then f of x can be defined. F of x should lie between minus 2 and 2. F of x is positive. So we're effectively solving for f of x less than or equal to 2. So 1 by square root of 4 minus x square less than or equal to 2. Square root of 4 minus x square greater than or equal to 1 by 2. 4 minus x square greater than or equal to 1 by 4. X square is less than or equal to 4 minus 1 by 4. Less than or equal to 15 by 4 or x square less than or equal to x less than or equal to root 15 by 2. A funny answer. G of x is f of x. I am getting none of these. So it's x 0 less than x less than 2. If x were very small or very large, if x were practically 2, 1.9 whole square, root of 4 minus 1.9 whole square is 1.999 whole square. So f of x can be very large. If f of x is very large, we cannot find f of x. So all of these are wrong. Just none of these. I'm going to confidently mark this. X cannot be close to 2. If x were 2 or 1.99999, then 4 minus x square is a minuscule number. 1 by that will be a gigantic number. I can make f of x equal to 1000. And I cannot find f of x. So it cannot be less than 2. 2 is ruled out. So this is the answer. I'm confidently marking none of these. Modulus of x minus 2 less than modulus of x plus 3. I need to solve this. I'm going to do this directly. Modulus of x minus 2 less than modulus of x plus 3. X minus 2 is less than modulus of x plus 3. I can square x square minus 4x plus 4 is less than x square plus 6x plus 9 x square equals 7. Plus 4 minus 9 is less than 6x plus 4x. 10x greater than minus 5. X greater than minus 5 by 10, x greater than minus half. X greater than minus half should work. Basically work, we're good. I don't want to think about finding that curve. I just don't want to. This I like. I have lots of time. I'm going to do 14, 15 and come back to this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 questions. You can even nail all of them. Priya and Soumya started cycling simultaneously towards each other from points A and B, which are 28 kilometers apart. An hour later, they meet and continue cycling at their respective speeds without stopping. P arrived at B 35 minutes earlier than Soumya arrived at A. What is the difference between the speeds of Priya and Soumya? 28 kilometers totally. That's what I'm saying. P and Q, 28 kilometers. Priya and Soumya, A and B, 28 kilometers apart. Let's say Priya travels at P kilometers per hour, Soumya travels at Q kilometers per hour. And an hour later, they meet. Uncle is driving me mad. P plus Q is 28. P arrived at B 35 minutes earlier than Soumya arrived at A. And taken for P to travel, the total distance is 28 by P. Q to travel the 28 total distance is 28 by Q. This time taken, Priya arrived sooner, so she took lesser time. So P is faster, arrived sooner. So 28 by Q minus 28 by P equals 35 by 60. Between kilometers per hour, the answer being hours, this is 7 by 12. You can knock off a 7, so this 4 by Q minus 4 by P equals 1 by 12. P minus Q by PQ is 1 by 48. Q is 28 minus P. P minus 28 minus P by P into 28 minus P is 1 by 48. To solve this quadratic, P minus 28 minus P, or this is 2P minus 28 by p into 28 minus p is 1 by 48. Or 96 times p minus 14. Just down here, 96 times p minus 14 equals 28p minus p square. P square this side plus 96p minus 14 into 96 minus 28p equals 0. P square 96 minus 28 p square plus 68p minus 14 into 96 is equal to 0. (96p minus 14 into 96), 28p minus p square. P square minus 28p plus 96p. So 14 into 96. The difference between these two numbers is 84. And the difference will be only 68. 28 into 48. 24 into 56. And then 12 into 12. It doesn't work. 3 by 3, 42 into 32, 21 into 64, should have 84 somewhere. This will 84 into 16. 84 into 16 works. P square plus 84p minus 16p. So P should be 16. P is 16. Q is 12. What's the difference between Priya and Soumya? 12 minus 6, which is 6. Super. Good question. Running around a circular track of circumference 300 meters starting simultaneously from the same point in opposite directions. A runs at a speed of 22.5 meters per minute. She crosses B every 7.5 minutes. 22.5 meters per minute, 300 meters, same point, simultaneously opposite directions. So the relative speed would be A plus B, meeting once every 7.5 minutes. So 300 by 7.5 is 40 meters per minute is the relative speed. A is traveling at 22.5, so B should be traveling at 17.5. A is traveling at 22.5, B should be traveling at 17.5. On their relative speed, if they're traveling in the same direction, be 5 meters per minute. How long would they travel? 300 by 5, once every 60 minutes. I thought it was a tough question, it's a freebie. 21, 22, see what these are. Too big, too many expressions. Let's see this. N1, N2 be any two odd integers, which of the following is always true. N1 plus N2 by 2 is always odd, not necessary. N1 plus N2 by 2 should be an integer. It can be an even integer. So 1 plus 3 by 2 is 2. So 1 is not 2. N1 plus N2 by 2 is always even, not necessarily. 1 plus 5 by 2 is 3, not always even. One of the two numbers, N1 plus N2 by 2 and N1 minus N2 by 2 is odd and the other is even. 1 plus 3 by 2, 4 by 2, 2 and the other is even. N1 plus N2 by 2 is always greater than N1 minus N2 by 2. It's not true. The one which is true. I know this is true, let me just verify. N1 plus N2 by 2, N1 minus N2 by 2. Two odd numbers. If you add the two of them, you get a multiple of 4. If you subtract the two of them, you cannot get a multiple of 4. That's what they're saying. Either the sum or the difference is a multiple of 4. Odd numbers, when you divide by 4, remainder is 1 or 3. So this question, there are two numbers. So the reminders on division by 4 could be 1 and 1, 1 and 3, 3 and 3. So 1 and 1, the sum would be an even number but not a multiple of 4. but the difference will be a multiple of 4. Here again, difference will be a multiple of 4, sum won't work. Here sum will be, but difference won't be. So wonderful. This is why this is true. I've convinced myself. Let's go to 25. Radius of the circle. 1 plus root 3. I'm running out of stuff to attack. So we go for the first question. On a visit to his upcoming realty project, so we used 16% of his fuel, covering 12% of the distance in city traffic. He reckons that another 18% of the distance will be covered in city traffic and the rest on the highway. The fuel efficiency is defined as the number of liters required to travel each mile. By what percentage should the fuel efficiency on highway driving be higher than the fuel efficiency in city, so that he reaches his project without refueling? 16% of his fuel in 12%. 18% will be covered in city traffic. So totally is going to travel 30% in city. Total city traffic is 30%. For 12%, he uses 16%. So into 4 by 3. This into 4. He uses 40% of his fuel. So to travel the remaining 70%, you need to use only 60% of his fuel. Or his highway efficiency should be for 60% of distance, 70% of fuel. City efficiency is 16% for 12%. The fuel, by what percentage the fuel efficiency in highway driving be higher than the fuel efficiency in city? Number of liters required to travel each mile. Liters required to travel each mile. So we're looking at distance by fuel. It should be 70 by 60, be 12 by 16. This is 0.75. This is 70 by 60 by 12 by 16. 12 by 16 is 3 by 4. So we're looking at 7 by 6 by 3 by 4 minus 1 expressed as a percentage. 7 by 6 into 4 by 3. This is 2 by 3, or this is 14 by 9 expressed minus 1 expressed as a percentage, or it is 5 by 9 as a percentage. 1 by 9, 11.11. We're looking for 55.55. And that is just not there. Just these people are driving me crazy. I'm confident of my numbers. You can drive 12% in city traffic using 16% of his fuel. So his fuel efficiency, number of liters per kilometer, is akin to 12 by 16. The remaining should be akin to 7 by 6. By how much is 7 by 6 more than 3 by 4? 7 by 6 by 3 by 4 minus 1. Or 7 by 6 into 4 by 3 minus 1. 14 by 9 minus 1, which is 5 by 3, more than half. I'll go for this. I'm not happy. I'm not a happy person. I don't like taking puns. How many multiples of 4 with distinct digits exist less than 10 power 4? 10 power 4 is 10,000. Which is 1 followed by 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking at 4-digit numbers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. We're looking at 4-digit numbers, 3-digit numbers, and 2-digit numbers. Digits we're looking for 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. 4-digit, 3-digit, 2-digit. 1 digit is not possible because we don't have a 4 with us. How many multiples of 4 are possible? I've got 4-digit numbers. 4-digit number should end at 12 or 32 or 52. If it ended with 12, we should have the 2 digits before. Sum 2 of 3, 5 and 0. You could have 3, 5 and 5, 3, or 3, 0, 5, 0. 3, 5, 5, 3, 3, 0, 5, 0. So here 3, 2 will be the same math. I think we've left 1 and 5 out. So 4 possibilities here, 4 possibilities here, 4 possibilities here. 12 4-digit numbers are possible. So the 3-digit numbers 12, 32 and 52 are the last 3 digits, 2 digits. The 3-digit numbers that are 12 will be 3 or 5. So 2 possibilities, 2 possibilities, 2 possibilities plus 6. 18 numbers so far, 4-digit numbers and 3-digit numbers. 2-digit numbers could be 12, 32 or 52. 10 could end with 0 as well, so it could end with a 20. Completely forgot 20. So we have to count that all over again. So 18 plus 3, 21 we've got so far. Or our number could end with 20. So we have 1, 3 and 5 remaining. You can select any two in 3 ways. They can be put together in 2 ways. So 6 numbers preceding this. Or you can end with 20 to be 1, 3 or 5, 3 numbers. Or you can have 21, just the number 20. 4-digit numbers, 3-digit numbers, 2-digit numbers. There are totally 6 plus 3 plus 1, 10 possibilities here. 21 here, 31 is the answer, but I am not sure in the chance. Hope I've not missed the count. I don't think I have time for everything, so I'm going to go for 35. 25, 5, 7, so I'm going to do this very differently. I don't have that much time. So 5, 7, 6, 6, 2, minus 6, 6 is here. 2, minus 2 is here. 5, 7 is here. So a weird looking triangle, 5, 7. What's the right angle triangle? Wonderful, this is right angle. This 5, 7, so this is a 45-degree angle, 45-degree angle. What is it? I don't know. 6, 2 is 4. Root of 4 square plus 8 square. Root 18. 7 minus 1 minus 1. Root 2. Root of 5, 7. 5 minus 2. 3 square. 7 minus 2 plus 9 square. Root of 9 plus 81. Root 90. Root 80. Root 90 and root 2. It's not a right angle triangle, this is a Bacchus triangle. I think I got stuck with the wrong type of circle. What is the radius of the circle passing through 5, 7, 6, 6 and 2, minus 2. 2, minus 2. 2, minus 2 is here. 2, minus 2 is here. But on the right triangle, but it gives me nothing. I think I spent the time on the wrong thing to read this. So I don't know whether I can solve. Run out of interesting questions. Let's read this. A and B integers, A is 37, B is 8. And the remainder of A divided by B is 5. It's called the non-negative remainder. That is our graph of the interval. 3 becomes, in this case, minus 3. It's called the minimal remainder. The minimal remainder is the largest negative number R. The least non-negative remainder R. I know this. Taken a chance with that. 21. Now that I've attempted it, let me just check it. I've saved it as well. These two should add up to the device. Subtract this again with mod R. It's right. I'm confident of this. I cannot do any more questions, so let me just put save again. The test has been finished, and so am I. I'm completely cooked. I'm very tired. I didn't expect to get this tired. I didn't expect the dashboard to be shared this quickly as well. I got 9 incorrect and 72 correct. It's not bad. The percentile is not bad. Quants attempted 31. Accuracy is 90%. Got some bits wrong. DI 22. Accuracy is 91%. Not bad. Verbal accuracy is 86%. Not bad. I'm happy with the accuracy in all 3. I want to know what I messed up in quant. I thought I had got everything right. I don't know what I messed up in DI as well. Again, I thought I got everything right. What am I most irritated with? I'm peeved with the fact that I could have easily got 3 more questions in quant, which I messed up, which I didn't do. Sorry, not in quant, in DI. I'm pretty content with the verbal. Maybe 1 more question I could have sneaked in somewhere, but not that easy. This could have easily been 9 more marks if I'd been just that little bit better and dumped that logical reasoning puzzle really comprehensively and really quickly. I did not do that. I refused to do that, and so that cost me. So I could have, my overall number could have been far better if I had not messed that up. Right? It's not about this thing. I'm going to check out the answers. I'm too tired to do all that extensively. I messed up 1 in speed, time, distance, and the first question in percentages, which I knew I was taking a chance. I didn't like that question. 1 in geometry seemed to have messed up. Let's come back to this part later on. So let's look at the overall analytics. I'm peeved with my DILR, but the other 2 I really couldn't have done much better. So I'm overall happy with this. I'm pretty tired. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen, go revert to the webcam interface, and then have a very quick chat with you guys before we all say goodbye and then get out of this. Stop sharing the screen. Go back to the YouTube UI. I'm, as you can all see, I'm very tired, so I'm just going to type some stuff. The scores should have been better in DILR. I think we've seen that. Good experience. I hope you guys had reasonable fun in going through the session. At least some amount of as much as I did, or at least half as much as I did. I quite enjoyed it. It's been a while since I took a mock. All the best. We've done some amount of looking at mocks from another point of view. At the top of my head, I can say that I messed up that DILR section. I should have done 2-3 questions more. I have just dumped that LR. I'm very, very, very curious to see the solution to that PQR question. Some true or false wrong with this and that. I'm too tired, so I'm not going to look at it now. I'm going to probably look at it sometime tomorrow to see who would have got 4 out of 5 wrong, who would have got 3 wrong, 2 wrong, 1 wrong. If someone had got 5 wrong, I would have nailed that. But nobody had got all 5 wrong, and then I slipped. So that still irks me, and because I got stuck so long in that, I missed something else. Right? So stuff happens. Hopefully, there's some evidence of the fact that we could bounce back from a low. Quant didn't go too badly. I'm tired. This session where I'm talking and doing is properly tiring. So once again, I'm going to sign off reasonably quickly right about now. Thanks a lot for hanging in and running this session with us. We will keep this video open for quite some time. The live mock session is going to be open for at least 2-3 weeks. So ping back if you have any queries, questions. Give us a call, drop us on the comment statement or give us an email on the comment section or on the live chat. Many thanks and best wishes for you again. Thank you. See you.